There we are. There we are. Here we are. There you are. Welcome. My name is Dean. Busy day today. We got a lot of stuff to get to. We've got trucker rallies to get to. We've got lying to get to. We've got pictures to get to. We've taken a bunch of pictures. We've got people to shit on today. We've got people to promote today. We've got a lot of stuff going on today. And we have guests, as always. This is brought to you by our friends at Easy Auto Financial. Easy Auto Financial, the people that get you in a car with financing you don't have to pay for. No obligation. Go to easyautofinancial.ca for more details. Also, our friends at Ed's Fine Imports, his Gitch, Gitch, luxury underwear, boxer briefs, pouch in the front, can't lose, want a free pair. Use promo code GITCH3 and he'll send you one. Go to edsfineimports.com. Gitch and the number 3, the best underwear on the planet, Canadian made. That's why I love them. Also, they work and they fit perfect. And last but not least, of course, our friends over at Domination, DMNTN.com, people that do software to help people like us do promos in record time. Super easy to use, artificial intelligence for people that do promos, gaming, streaming, etc. Go to DMNTN.com and try them for free today. Well. We've got an unboxing of sorts today. An unboxing. We're unmasking a friend of mine who agreed to be on the program today, and he joins us. Please welcome James DeFiore, rookie Ryan Lindley, and the unmasked one, Damien Bunsma, labor lawyer for Beard Winter LLP in Toronto, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? How are you? Nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, Dean.
You're just blowing a few kisses to the crowd, are you? How you doing? Wow, nice to see you. All right. That's
Beard
a good way
Winter.
to come in.
Beard Winter. It's the manliest name for a company of all time.
Beard Winter.
You just picture this big, behemoth man with his long ass beard with food
White
in it
too,
from yesterday.
it's a winter beard, right?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right.
How are you, brother? Good to see you.
Good to see you. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm glad you could join us. A little backstory because Damian is known on we can give out your Twitter handle now, right? I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Might as well.
Yeah. We're here. The Devil's Advocate on Twitter, and he kind of broke the internet and went viral with Ryan, who put out a tweet about this trucker thing, which we're going to get to coming up in a couple of minutes. The is known Canada-wide as the Karen Convoy.
Yeah.
The oppression cosplay roadshow.
But before we do that, before we get to the trucker convoy, just a quick stop in Cocaine Town. Anybody see Donald Trump Jr. this morning?
Rookie had the best line of the day, by the way, in our chat, where he said he wonders who saw more snow this weekend, Lachlan Cross or Don Jr.
Yeah. Well, I guess Locke was in Jasper, Marmot Base, skiing it up at a wedding. I'm going to play this for you. I can't fucking believe this guy's not dead. This might be one of the greatest all-time Coke rants I've ever seen. James, break it down for us after. You're familiar with the drug. Watch this.
Can't put Joe Biden in the same room as someone. He might let one rip. Guys, Joe Biden is what stands between us and a nuclear-capable China. Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 a.m.
Whose teeth is he wearing?
There's a serious crisis.
Can't feel his teeth.
With Russia.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to Pablo Escobar, how coked out is Don Jr. in that clip, Jamesy?
I would say he's right around Pablo Escobar. Maybe, you know what? He's like the nose from Artie Lang.
Yeah.
But I don't even know where to start. There's a thing that if you do too much, your cartilage kind of breaks down, and so some people they walk around a little bit like this so that the nasal drip won't come out their nose. So I think he's doing that. The other thing is, if you watch that clip with the with the starting point of, let's watch this and pretend like he can't feel his teeth.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it totally makes sense why he's talking like
Can't put
that.
Joe Biden in the same room as someone.
Look at him.
And then he does the Lachlan Cross radio voice from 23 years ago that he had to learn how to shed. Joe Biden, like he's like, oh,
let one rip,
Here you go.
guys. Joe Biden.
Guys.
Joe Biden. What's with the jaw? What's coke jaw? Sorry,
just
Damien.
when
I didn't mean to get right into the cocaine talk.
a lot of the hard drugs, when you do them, they make you clench your jaw. Especially
Like this, like is that what this is?
It's like
Because I
this.
see a lot of I know people that do the booger sugar that love it, and it's like, and I know when they've done it because they got the same coke jaw, like that. Is that a pretty standard symptom of being on the booger sugar, doing the nose candy,
Yes.
nose beer?
It's
Is
not-
that it? Yeah, okay, just making sure.
the whole package. He had the pasties because it makes you dry, right? It gives you dry mouth.
He's
He's
put
got
it
the
out
little-
at 4 a.m. too. That was a good indicator.
This guy went, okay, roll it.
Anyway, at least we're not him today. That is fucking unbelievable.
He's still
Look
awake.
at him.
Is what stands between us and a nuclear-capable China.
Fucked. Anyway, just thought I'd do it as an icebreaker. Little Don Jr. Welcome again, Damien Bunsma from Beard Winter LLP. Nice to see you.
Great. Straight into legal.
Yeah,
Oh, he's a lawyer. Did you want to do a rail before we start, or
He's
Hey,
not
later.
that kind of lawyer. Yeah. So thanks for doing this, dude. Like you and I, how long have we been following each other, kind of communicating? I know you wrote a little piece for us about a year ago. What, about 2 years now? maybe?
Yeah, it's been about 2 years. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's fun because when you do this game and you put out content, people will identify with it from time to time. And you're one of those guys that identify with the content that we put out 2 years ago, where I was like, I don't know if anybody likes this shit. And then you identified yourself as a lawyer, and I got to know you, and I'm like, well, a smart guy likes this stuff, so it's not that bad.
Can't be that bad. I mean,
Yeah.
lawyers love to talk too. So what are you gonna do?
It's because of the cocaine, also, Bo.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the reason why you're on today is because you popped into a pretty significant conversation on the weekend. Ryan was kind enough to get on to this Karen convoy early. Wrote an article about it on the 23rd, which was a couple days ago, as a matter of fact, yesterday morning. Some truckers descend on Ottawa in the name of grifting. I mean, freedom. Now, you chimed in because when he wrote the article, it went viral. And yesterday we saw this movement across the country of a fundraiser for $3 million that was being run out of Alberta, that was attached to a protest of unvaccinated truckers. Am I right so far, Ryan? Am I getting on the
yeah, that's it.
Okay, so unvaccinated truckers. Ryan was kind enough to go through the article to identify what was going on, Ryan. Now, if you could give us some Coles notes here, take your time. I know I said Coles notes, so it's like, say, don't take your time, but take your time. Explain to us real quick before we get to Damian, who is a very serious purpose here on this podcast. Very serious. Explain real quick the gist of the protest and what you wrote about, which obviously trended yesterday for a long period of time and sort of blew the doors off the grift behind the Karen convoy / Truckers for Freedom / runfromthevax.org. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was. It started out. It sounded like a grassroots thing, and it sounded, like a couple of truckers that were, angry about the mandates coming in for the cross-border requirements to be vaccinated to do international shipping. So we looked at it, and I went to the GoFundMe because I saw there was a fundraiser. So I thought, okay, let's see how that's doing, thinking that probably doesn't have anything. And Christ, it was like over $1 million by the time I looked at it. I'm like, who the hell's donating this? Like, this is crazy. Who's running this fundraiser? So I did a little digging, and it turns out that the one of the board members from the Maverick Party, the Separatists, the ones that want to become part of the states, Donald Trump United States, the secretary there, she's running it. Tamra
Tamra
there she
Lynch
Thank
is her
you,
name.
Lynch.
Born and raised on the Saskatchewan prairies, lives in Medicine Hat. Part of an alt rock outfit for 20 years that played local pubs.
Yeah. So very, very qualified. Lots of connections to the transport industry, I guess.
Actually, let
didn't
me
find
correct
one.
you. None. Curiously, you said she seemingly has no direct connection to the trucking industry. She worked in the oil and gas industry and was a singer, quote, for a local metal band.
Oh, well, what she's saying is she used to be a singer for a
like
local metal band, and that's how she met guys with trucks. That's all. That's all.
It makes sense. Yeah, she might have seen a truck or been in a truck at a certain time. But anyway, so I started watching it, and some other people, as it gained steam, and we wrote the article. A lot of people that are actually like good at the deep dives into this started digging into it and realizing that the amounts of money and the way the money's coming in right now, and how she keeps on moving the goalpost up. I think it's over 3 million now, and it looks a lot like the way they launder money. Like when you get money coming in from overseas, and they'll use different avenues, different ways to deflect it from a political party. Yeah. But she is affiliated directly as a board member with a political party. So there's nowhere on the Maverick website that actually refers to this, which is kind of weird because you figure they would be behind this movement and cheering them on, but it's crickets from them. So that's a bit suspicious as well. So GoFundMe shut them down. Well, they suspended the ability to withdraw the funds pending investigation. So she put out a tweet and some stuff on whatever the loser Facebook is, Telegram or Telegraph or whatever, and told people to donate to her on her personal account to her own email, like to actually e-transfer her the money directly. So that's totally above board, right? Like that's fine.
When we put in our satire videos, that's what I said as the guy looking for Kevin J. Johnson. Just send me the transfer. I'll make sure he gets it. I swear to God.
Exactly. But they're literally doing it. But what I didn't know, and Rookie told me yesterday when we were talking, was that they will actually suspend your transactions on your bank account if you get too many coming in, because it looks like money laundering. Like there's a problem. Like it looks like there's some sort of fraud. So your bank gets involved with a fraud investigation. So now I guess whoever her bank is probably involved investigating the fraud. GoFundMe is investigating it as a fraud. It's funny because mainstream media wouldn't talk about it. They didn't say anything about it whatsoever. But the minute it broke that she's starting to take the donations personally, I guess they got interested and reached out, and GoFundMe directly answered them. We asked questions and we didn't get any answers, but of course you're going to talk to CTV over Ryan, so it's all good. Whatever, I don't care. I'm still
but it was your story that broke it up.
So it was okay. Like I don't care. Whatever. As long as it gets to the bottom of it, I'll find out. I'll report on it, and I'll get the clicks later. So that's okay.
Exactly.
Good. Yeah. Somebody else do the work for me. I'm
also, you can sleep at night because you know you're not a fucking loser. Yeah, that too.
Yeah, it's and there's a lot of right wing conservative support from a lot of like Pierre Polivet, the one we were talking about just
Pierre Pepper Potts.
Yeah,
Damien's favorite. Yeah,
Pigeon Pierre. He's been retweeting everything and showing support, and so it's gonna come down to when they figure out where the money is actually coming from, because there's no. It just seems very unreasonable that much money could have been collected when you take the temperature of the actual. General population, the 90% of people that are vaccinated, that are saying these guys are all a bunch of fucking clowns.
Yeah.
So it's something to watch for the next couple of days for sure, just to see if they do get to the bottom of something, or if there's any sort of federal involvement with finances and picking it apart, because they're not a registered charity. They're not a registered anything. There's more. There's a web of other donation grifts that are connected to it. I think I sent you that. Right there.
Yeah,
so, like, all of these are all connected to the same thing.
Yeah.
But who are they? Who are you? Why are you taking this money?
Well, can't you see it's the Make Freedom Convoy 2022 go to every province goal, and then it's the Norman Travesty Ottawa Truckers goal, and the Freedom Convoy goal. Number Darcy
6,
get to Ottawa goal.
Number 6 was my favorite.
I wonder if I will get this goal. $100,000.
I haven't gotten anything yet.
Yeah.
What do you guys think Ezra Levant's going to do with all this money?
He's going to build that building finally.
I saw Sheila Gunn Reid last night, like saying, "Oh, I'm gonna go," and it's like, donate here. What else is new?
Yeah. This brings up kind of an interesting point because we had a couple of things going on here. And Damian, this is why I really wanted you to pop in today, and I'm thankful you can make some time. Damien Bunsma from Beard Winter LLP joins us. He's a lawyer. He chimed in on the tweet, and you basically laid it out for us because you were one of the people. You're a labor lawyer. You chimed in. You're like, hey, everybody. I wrote these vaccination policies for a lot of these big trucker companies, and it's all bullshit effectively. So what can you tell us about, and then we'll get to why they used it and the journalist political takeoff here, because there's a big spin. Like this has been a prank. This is not real. I just want to lay that out for you. There is no shortage of food in this country. The shelves are not fucking empty. None of that stuff is going on. And the pictures that have been posted are stock photos from a UK publisher known as Buzz. So before we get into the details about what's going on with truckers, it was a prank played on a group of people who willingly donate because they think they're fighting tyranny. And there's a woman in Alberta named Tamra Lynch who should probably go to jail in the next little while. That's my summary, not Damien's. But Damien, back to the policy. These truckers are not they're not contributing. The ones that are not vaccinated, the reason why they were protesting, are not contributing to the supply chain issues, correct?
No, I mean, I can tell you that I represent some of the larger, let's say, trucking establishments that we have. Some of my clients operate from Montreal all the way to Windsor. So they called me, or I called them, whatever it may be, back in November. So we're talking almost immediately upon them learning that these policies and regulations were going to be put in place. So what ended up happening is they knew the Department of Homeland Security was going to put in these regulations, and our own government. So what did they do is, just like other employers, other industries said, let's get a vaccination policy in place. And what the policies are, at least across my clients, which I can say is going to be pretty consistent across the board in the industry, not everybody, but most, is that all of them is that tell us if you're vaccinated or not. That's the essence of the policy. Number two is, if you're not vaccinated, well, then you can't go to the US. But guess what? We are going to redeploy everybody so that the people who are vaccinated will go routes that you need to be vaccinated, and those who are not vaccinated will go and keep it domestic. That's all that happened. None of my clients, these are large scale corporations. These are not the smaller mom and pop shops. So this is not something that's just nominal in scale. They put these in place to accommodate all of their workers, all of them, regardless of whether or not what they believe in. They said, listen, if you're not vaccinated, then you're not vaccinated, but we are going to help you, and we are going to make sure that you continue working. And 85% or more of these workers are vaccinated. So, there
isn't a far stray. There's not a far stray. It's not like truckers are different than Canadians. They're part of that 85%.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're saying 85% of truckers are at, and you've written the policies for these trucking companies, and your firm has written the policies for these trucking companies, and you know the exact number being around 85% of truckers across the country that are vaccinated, and you also wrote the policies that says you can still work here if you're not vaccinated. You just have to do domestic routes. What has the pushback been like from unvaccinated truckers with their employers? Have you seen much? Are they happy to have those routes? And how many are saying, you know what, fuck you, we're not working at all? Like, what is that percentage? Can you break any of that down?
I wouldn't even be able to give a percentage. I would say that it's almost nil. I haven't had questions from clients on that, because it's pure accommodation. Like, we're not even talking about in some industrialized or manufacturing clients of mine, they've put in testing, for example. None of my clients have actually put in testing in the trucking industry. So to them, they are running the domestic routes. That's it. So what are they going to complain about?
So is this more like you think it might be like more owner operator led, like grassroots that way, possibly, because we're not seeing I wouldn't.
Yeah, because then I don't understand who those people were that were protesting. And listen, it was one of the more pathetic protests you'll ever see. And I know, in one town, 4 trucks showed up, and they were pickup trucks, a lot of truck nuts, as Ryan pointed out, lots of truck nuts. But Ottawa, they had a few. It was more or less a few traveling bands of idiots. And those idiots were telling everybody to donate on behalf of all the truckers. Meanwhile, if I'm not mistaken, the Canadian Trucker Association put out this thing, and there's the vast majority of trucking industry is vaccinated. Stop doing this. It is unsafe. The CTA president, Stephen Laskowski, said the only way to cross the border in a commercial truck or any other vehicle now is to get vaccinated, because the rules on both sides of the border say that you have to. So who were those people, Damian?
Yeah.
Do you know who they were?
Well, they are people who don't have to go to work. So at the end of the day, I mean,
they're people that aren't working for big corporations that can just give a truck away for a week. Yeah, sure, go drive and waste fuel and down the highway miles. Go ahead.
And here's the thing: they're complaining about, let's say, the supply chain. But so during this time that they're so worried about all of us, all the Canadians that are going to go without food from these fictitious pictures, right? Yeah. So they're deciding, to protest that, we are not going to deliver anything to any of your homes during this time, because we represent a single-digit percentage, and we're going to bring you to your knees. This is what they think.
So send us money. So
that's fucking awesome when you put it that way.
It's like a hostage taking.
Yeah. But that's what they said. They literally said
ransom.
that they are doing this they are doing it to bring us to our knees, so that we will change functionally our public policy.
How about these? How about these 2 middle fingers for that group? How about that one? How about the double guns? Go fuck yourself. That is unbelievable when you put it like that.
Maybe we have this all wrong. They want to bring us to our knees. Maybe it's a grinder convention, and we're
they're holding my avocados hostage. They want ransom.
I want to put it on my tongue.
Well, think about that though. Think about it, because this is the benefit of the grift though, and it's the same same with Chris Sky. Listen, everybody, the end is coming, and if it's not for us standing up for you, you're going to experience terror and tyranny, and you're going to go hungry. And to help you fight this tyranny, we're going to prevent food from getting on the shelves and you from getting to work, and we're going to clog the 407, and we're going to clog the 401, and we're going to just generally be assholes and prevent you from eating. Meanwhile, we're doing this so that you can eat. It makes no sense.
Oppression cosplayers is what they
LARPing.
Are.
It's oppression LARPing.
Yeah. But it's okay, because this is the first time I'm even hearing that this protest was about that. I thought this was one of those ambiguous, overarching kind of freedom rallies that you might see a Bernier at, and they don't like vaccines and they don't like mandates. But you're saying that this is specified for the guys who are like, I lost my route to Buffalo, so now I got to go to Winnipeg.
Yes,
those guys.
It's true.
Oh my God,
it is Winnipeg, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Like, I was supposed to be in Florida this week, and now I get the Winnipeg corridor in February. It's not a great time.
I'd protest that too, to be honest.
Yeah.
I can't run the drugs I smuggle in my van trailer if I go to Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So it's not though an overarching freedom, liberty kind of.
No, they said it was, and it wasn't. This is how they painted the whole thing. And here's the fucked up part. Here are the players that are involved, to Ryan's point. And you'll love this, Damian, because you hate these pricks as much as I do. The ones that appropriate your feelings for personal use, that one. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to put this out. This is from New Brunswick, and this is Canada Proud. Now, if you read Ryan's story at deanblundell.com, it has all these details in it. So Canada Proud is run by a guy named Jeff Ballingall. Jeff Ballingall is Aaron O'Toole's campaign guy, right-hand guy, and he is a virulent nationalist. He's also connected to virulent racists like Gavin McInnes. And when I pointed that out once, he sent me a tweet and said, oh, yeah, you got no proof. Good luck finding it, which means there's probably lots of proof he's trying to hide. But anyway, so they take this picture, which is a pre-pandemic picture. You know, the big toilet paper rush of 2020? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Where everybody, wherever you're at. So that's where this is from. And through Jeff Ballingall, the call went out to a whole bunch of conservative assholes, like a ton of them. And when we pointed it out, like when we said, hey, listen, by the way, this is a grift, and here's Ryan's article, they all went quiet. All of them went quiet. And here's the great part. Not just that picture is bullshit. The large majority of pictures that were used to tell everybody that you're going to go hungry weren't even from this fucking country.
No. No, they weren't. That one, and actually, just to be, for transparency, that picture that came from a Press Progress report that I read, that's actually from a snowstorm. That's why they missed their delivery because of road conditions. That's why those shelves were empty.
A snowstorm.
That was confirmed by Loblaws, by the way. Loblaws actually confirmed that. That was in New Brunswick.
Yeah. Was that the same one where Chris Sky was saying that they shut down the streets because they were trying to find him or something? Like,
yeah. But it was
they shut down our entire telecommunications infrastructure to try to stop Chris Sky work.
Yeah, remember the Rogers blackout? The great Rogers blackout? He's like, I knew it. They'd shut the whole network down just to get me.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go. But case in point, again, Jason Kenney, he's the premier of Alberta. We're going to put you through these picture paces. This is what that prank has done. And the reason why it was created, and I believe Jeff Ballingall and Aaron O'Toole are behind it, from my understanding. And they give their marching orders to other conservative idiots who don't think for themselves to ride for the brand. So, Jason, this is the premier of the fucking province of Alberta. He's like, I'm getting pictures like this from grocery stores across Alberta this morning. This is turning into a crisis. It requires immediate attention by the Canadian and U.S. governments. I'd like to point out, you see the picture in the bottom left of the kind of pyramid little fruit thing? You see the boxes behind it? It's getting ready to be restocked. That is from July 2020. Just
watermelon.
You're not stocking my shelves fast enough. This is tyranny.
Do you see the potatoes right next to it? Same picture. Look underneath. You see how it's empty there? Look underneath. There's a whole bunch more they just haven't put in the shelves yet. So they just hadn't. It's restocking day. This is the kind of shit that these guys are continuing to do to you, to me, and to everybody else. And you know how Jason Kenney was like, he's like, I'm calling the U.S. border to get this mandate taken off. It's all about mandates for them. They're just trying to make it look like they're fucking anti-mandate so they can go back to their fucking trailer park loving redneck fan base and go, look, we don't care about your health either. Like, that's really this is all about. But you know how they said it was a cross-border issue, right? Kenney puts out these pictures. This is the one picture he put out that made me laugh. The 100% Canadian shelf. Now, if that's a cross-border issue, where the fuck are we getting our Canadian chicken from?
Colombia.
Ohio Canadian chicken. Like, the whole thing. Damian, like, you're a lawyer. You're a smart person. You wrote the vaccine mandate stuff for the trucking industry across this country. When you see this stuff and you put it together after the fact, as an educated individual who likes to comment on politics, what are your thoughts on one of the great pranks of the weekend?
I mean, it's exactly what they're trying to do is pure politics. I mean, it has nothing to do with the legal situation in this country. I mean, we don't have an actual mandate that the way that people, they want people to understand it. They prey upon the ignorance of the population to believe that there's some legal tool out there that's stopping people from working. It's not. So that's number one. And then you've seen over the weekend, the Pierre Poilievre, Senator Husakos, they're putting out these exact same pictures telling their followers that, like, we're all going to starve to death. To be honest with you,
nice?
It's disinformation, and I like to call it, and you'll see it probably too many times in my tweets, it's sophistry. Like, they just love to do that. They love to take anything they can into, like, an untruth, but they know that their base will believe it, and they just eat it up, and they're like, we're all stupider for it. That's what it is.
I like that it's actually the CPC that's actually doing the fundraising campaign for the Maverick Party right now. I think that's pretty fucking decent of them. Really.
They killed them in the election. They're like, thanks.
Do you know what was incredible too is that when they found out how much money this little thing was raising, guess who the two guys were first in? That were like, we're doing the same thing for you because we want some of that money, Bernier and Hillier.
They literally took their campaign photo and or whatever their stupid protest photo, and quick, somebody put a truck in the background and misspell the word freedom.
Make us look like we care. Yeah,
it looks like a movie poster. And Nicolas Cage is in that movie somehow.
They did misspell the word freedom.
It's like the Walmart brand fucking Smokey and the Bandit right there.
My least, like my most, I wasn't disappointed. I thought this weekend was fucking hilarious, by the way, because I was in my house warm and I was just watching the whole thing, and it was like a click farm this weekend for us. Get a load of this, thanks to Ryan and James and the crew. It was a lot of fun. But I was disappointed this weekend because there's a conservative politician named Melissa Lantsman. Do you know Melissa Lantsman? We talked to her about 2 years ago about doing some writing for us. We had a nice little DM relationship, and then I saw her run for the Conservatives, and then I saw her won, and then she was one of the first people in on this fake shelf picture. This is from Oxford, England.
It's shovels, not shelves, by the way.
It's Shevlas. Yeah, they do that on purpose. They misspelled shelves there. Not the Conservatives don't have spell check, I guess.
They call it spell check.
But this is a woman who I had a tremendous amount of respect for prior to her getting into politics, and I still tried to respect her because I thought, you can't throw the baby out with the blue bathwater. But then she took this picture from Brexit and put this empty Canadian grocery store Shevlas could become a larger problem thing, and misappropriated one of the great pranks on Canadian individuals you'll ever see for her own benefit for her party because she has no values. That's what I got out of this, Damian. It's like no one has values anymore.
No, but at least she tried to fight Menzies at her one campaign stop she had in, what was it, Richmond Hill, Vaughan, and Menzies showed up with his spittle, shoving his mic in everybody's face like a lollipop. And then
I dare you to hit me. I dare you to hit me.
So I'll give her credit for that one. But yeah, I mean, and if you've seen her speak in the House of Commons, like she's
disaster.
I don't understand. She's like, it's almost like if you watch Belinda Carahalios in the Queen's Park. You just read straight from the paper, and then it's like, word for word. Worst presenter of all time.
She's in over her head.
Yeah.
Right.
She also showed some of this weird sort of sleazy strategy when she ran too, because she was accusing people of homophobia, and then later on, like we all found out, it wasn't homophobic at all. He was just wondering if being part of the LGBT community would be it's like it was like a first for the Conservative Party. It was a good question.
Well, it was Menzies. That was the Menzies thing.
That was the Menzies question?
That was the Menzies.
Yeah.
On paper, it didn't read badly, but now that I know that it's Menzies, I'm sure it was fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, he deserved it.
By the way, that Brexit photo is on iStock for $36. If you guys want to actually buy the photo, it's on iStock and it's $36. So I wonder if she actually gets a rebate, like if she can write that off.
I don't know.
And also, what is that lady looking at?
Go back to
actually,
I have.
What is she looking at?
I have other pictures of her, the same lady, looking in different shelves. That's what, it's actually a series. This photo is a series of photos of this lady looking confused at empty shelves on iStock. Yeah.
Like, is she slow? Lady, there's nothing on this goddamn shelves.
She's trying to figure out what Shevlas are.
Yeah. But it fits perfectly into narratives of like the Pierre Poilievres at the same time. But then like and I was talking to Dean about this earlier, and all of this about the supply chain, and now we're up to inflation at 4.8%, which is all because of the actions of the Liberals. And we have a former Bank of Canada saying that it had to do with supply chains. So now I'm wondering, now he's saying that the supply chain is all the cause of this inflation. So what was it that he wasted 3 weeks in the House of Commons telling us that the supply chain doesn't cause inflation? Now he's invited every trucker in Canada come visit him in whatever he lives in, just north or south of Ottawa, to tell us about supply chains. I just don't get this guy.
Are,
There's
are
something
you shocked
happening.
that they're liars, or
Well,
is that
yeah.
new?
It's not lying. It's like, as I said, he just picks what he, it's one day he says one thing and it's like, well, I beat that one for 3 weeks. And then, comes on, now it's the supply chain. So
The conservatives also have like this tricky thing right now, where I wouldn't call it a necessary like a divide, but you have like O'Toole on one side and his trusted executive and stuff, and then on the other side you have Pierre Poilievre, or I like to call him Skippy, right? Skippy Poilievre, and he's like, and did you not notice that when the writing was sort of on the wall that they would lose, his campaign videos were better than O'Toole's? Like they really were.
He did that Rick Mercer walking thing a lot.
Yeah, and like you don't have to like his message or even Skippy, but like his videos were decently produced, and it almost felt like he was rehearsing for like the next time Aaron O'Toole would lose or something. You know what I mean? Like he was like he's gonna vie for leadership. So given that, I think that people like Poilievre and others who sort of lean that way are probably seeing the landscape and thinking like, we're shedding people to the PPC. Let's see if we can get them back through this like side door kind of thing.
I want to see Pierre Poilievre's browser history. That's what I want to see.
like, get him to post something like Damien Cox and see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, we know it's stepmom porn. You know it is.
Oh, dude, and you know those guys that are all high and tight like him, Mr. Wiener Brigade, like guys like that. You know they have the dankest browser history. Just the worst.
I would have thought that about Tony Clement too, but he just liked the bubble bath a lot. So
I know him and I like him. I do. I know, but
he's got great taste in music. So
and his skin is so soft,
incredible. Yeah, and he looks happy at night too.
Yeah, he's got wrinkly fingers all the time, though. It's weird.
I know. Yeah. Well, listen, Damian, thank you for helping us kind of not just kind of uncover it, but like point out that 100% of truckers are driving, and the guys that were doing that were legitimately taking part in one of the great. This was one of the great hit and run.
Yep.
Like, let's steal from the dumb people before the fucking clock runs out moves of all time.
Yeah, it was great.
Like all time.
Chris Sky is crying, watching, going, what the fuck? Why couldn't I do that? He was apparently seen at a table, and this is not a joke, and somewhere this weekend with a merch table with nobody around him, two skanky-looking things that are, I don't know.
That's
just his wife and his wife's mom.
And no fans, no signs, no nothing.
It's over, dude.
It is.
It's
so
over.
funny.
That's why I was so shocked that this one worked. Like,
yeah.
I was
so
following it all day, and I'm watching the crazies show up, and I'm watching people get out of the car on the 401, and I'm like, I don't even care if they get hit. This is just going to be fun to watch.
I'm still not convinced, though, on the legitimacy of the donations. I'm waiting to see what happens.
There
was a lot in there that were 5 figures. Like those donations were 5 figures. Yeah. Anonymous donation for $10,000. Fuck off.
Hey, can I ask you a question, Damian? You've looked at a lot of like fraudulent spreadsheets, right? Like really good spreadsheets, good accounting. You're a lawyer. You've seen it. This P&L sheet here, does this look like it was done by a rocket surgeon or no?
Yeah, and it's unfortunate because all this money, as I think Ryan pointed out in his write-up, I'm sure to be totally accounted for. And when they pay it through these gas stations, that it will go to the proper people. I'm sure of it. So
yeah. Which fuel supplier? Apparently, they said they've secured a fuel supplier to supply fuel. Well, how do they know where they're going to be when they need fuel? Like, it makes no sense. Like, none of this makes any sense.
Can I ask you guys a question too? Like, what did they? Because this is the one thing I actually don't know, and I'm kind of ashamed that I don't. But guys, I can't know everything all the time. Okay, leave me alone. But this is the one thing I don't know. What is the money supposed to be for? Like
fuel and lodging. Fuel and lodging in a truck that has a bed in it. So apparently when they're trucking, they can sleep in the truck. When they are protesting and grifting, they must stay in hotels.
The best.
But aren't they protesting in order to drive their truck to sleep in it when they do their international route?
You're breaking brains now, Damien. Stop it.
Stop being so smart, lawyer guy.
We'll let you get back to work.
Keep deflecting shitheads on my Twitter. I fucking love you for that. Thank you very much, by the way.
Follow him on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle again? Devil's Advocate. I know there's a bunch of numbers, but I want to get it up here.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
Let me get it.
Are you trying to be a bot? Is that why all
the
the numbers?
But now you've uncovered who I am. I'm probably going to be getting a defamation lawsuit in the mail tomorrow.
I highly doubt it.
But I'll have to use my own.
I got it here. At Devils A 62669071.
Everybody was
Beard
not a
Winter
freedom fighter.
All of your accounts were made by AI. Beard Winter. Devil's A 698472.
No, listen, you've been a great resource and a good friend to us.
100%.
And I want to thank you so much. And thank
for
your
having me.
firm as well. If I'm ever in need of labor law issues, I was several years ago. You may have read about it. Gonna come to you. No, listen, really appreciate you being here, Damian, and thank your firm too for being open to allowing you to come on and kind of explain it and have some fun, because not a lot of people like to have fun with this stuff. We do, because otherwise we'll go nuts. But thanks for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Guys.
All right, brother.
Thank you so much.
Damien Bunsma, ladies and gentlemen, labor lawyer for
Great
Beard
dude.
Winter LLP. Great guy, eh?
Yeah.
Can we just get one word from our logo on the bottom of the screen? Oh, I mean, Chris.
That was Ryan's story, man. I had nothing to say on that.
No, he was too busy echoing all through the entire interview because he doesn't wear headphones. It's great.
Yeah.
Thanks for
It's
that.
okay. Dude,
all
we've
I
got
can hear.
We've got all
This
kinds
is just
of
how
time
I'm
to
starting
take a
to
shit on him.
This is how I'm starting the shitting on him.
This is
Let's
the
go.
time. Rookie, thanks
Let's
for being
go.
here. Chris Rook is our head of production. You wrote an article this weekend, which I thought was really good. Engagement on it was huge because I woke up
wonder
one
why.
morning. Yeah, woke up one morning and I'm like, wait a second, we're anti-vax now? This is crazy. And it was this article that you wrote. It's called "The Mental Health Toll Vaccines Mandates Are Taking That No One's Talking About." Now, you're unvaccinated.
I am,
Now, tell everybody why you're unvaccinated.
because I'm a PPC supporter.
Give them the other reason.
I got some vague medical stuff, apparently, according to our friends on Twitter, that I'm lying about.
Yeah.
Now, I know you're not lying about it, and I know that you have a mother that struggles greatly with the same medical condition. I don't know if it's the condition you want to talk about, but you tested positive for having the same genetic predisposition to that, and so your doctors have told you can't.
Not just one, a couple.
Several. What have they told you?
It's just they need more information. I need to go see a specialist that I'm seeing on February 10th. So, which has been like a mission to get a specialist appointment too. Like if I could get it done quickly, I would have. But they're so backed up that it got canceled twice. It's been rescheduled. So yeah, it's been fun, and there's more developments as well that have happened over the past month, which I'm not going to get into. But it's not because I just don't want to. I think that's the number one thing. And yeah, it's been a roller coaster. It's been fun. Everybody around me, every single one of my buddies is vaccinated, going to bars, watching football games.
Yeah,
My
not this
wife's
week.
fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
She was one of the first ones to get it because she works with special needs students. So if I was anti-vax, I probably would have had a problem with that. And I was like, congratulations. Like, it makes me feel better that you're going to go into a school environment vaccinated. So it's just, yeah, it's not because I don't want to. That's the number one thing.
I think that
So
was
you've
the
tried,
big problem. I think
right?
that was
Like
the big
you've
problem this weekend.
Yeah. I've tried for, well, I'm still trying, but yeah, it's still taking a little bit of time because it's a big issue.
Well,
Simply enough.
Let's go over the article that you wrote. First of all, when you led off by calling vaccinated people libtards, tough move.
I thought that was endearing.
No. I
Right out of
opened
the
it up
gate.
and I'm like, oh, clearly in the first 3 sentences, I get why everybody's angry.
There he goes.
Yeah.
There
It's
goes that man.
Because you started like this. You're like, before I get fucking started, libtards, relax. Then I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
He just pissed off 90% of the people that'll read this thing. So there was that, which you went back and cleaned up and all that stuff. Because you can't insert like
I spoke to
political
my advisory
labels.
team.
Yeah, me and all of us, and we're
Yeah.
all like, yeah. And to my surprise, even James was like, "Yeah, dude, too much." And I'm like, "Holy fuck!" This is...
You know it's too much when James says that.
I was offended, and I think
Yeah, James messaged me in our private DM right away and was like, "You piece of shit!
Did he really? As he should have.
How dare you?"
true. And I sent him a dick pic too. It wasn't mine, but
Yeah.
I sent it to him.
Yeah.
Somebody's dick.
Another one. Well, let's get into it because you wrote, listen, it does suck. I can't take my wife on the honeymoon she so desperately deserves after dealing with canceled COVID wedding for 2 years. That sucked. Watched you go through that, and you were a fucking champ. You bet your ass it does. Feels like a husband not being able to take her out for dinner on her anniversary birthday. Yep. Almost caved 30 times just to roll the dice to get the jab. So, like, to your health disbenefit, you were going to get it just so you could make your wife happy.
Just
Even
be a
though
good
your
husband.
doctors are telling you you can't do it, right?
Yeah, basically.
She's a rock star and understands. She's told me to go through the proper channels. The hypocrisy portion you get into, diving into it, both extreme sides of the debate are wrong. The aggressive unvaccinated people telling kids are going to die and protesting outside of health hospitals, they're wrong. The aggressive pro-vaccine people want all vaccinated people shipped to Northern Ontario to work camps, they're wrong. Absolutely right. You're 100% right in all those things. Like, you're talking about the extremes on both ends,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Which I dub the Ultra-vaxxers or the Anti-vaxxers. I hate them equally. Like the person that sent me a note last week is like, stop going out to lunches. I'm like, how about you go fuck yourself? And I just turned it around because it doesnn't matter. But my point is this, is that you came across like an anti-vaxxer. Like, I was asking questions of myself after I read the original draft before you changed it, because you did edit it, and good for you for doing that. But I was asking myself this question. I thought, is Chris like legitimately against vaccines? Because even though you said it in your article, the tone in there was almost like, fuck the vaccinated, leave me alone until I can get this figured out. But there was like, there wasn't like a legitimate medical reason that anybody could point to, which I think also got you in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. But no, I'm not, because it's like, I don't know what else to say except that I'm not. Everybody around me is vaccinated.
Yeah.
It's a good example of what happens when you criticize both sides, but you sound to the one side like you're on the other side. You know what I'm saying? For lack of better words, like all that stuff at the beginning that was edited out, it wasn't edited out probably because you were wrong in what you were saying. It's because the way the people process certain keywords, they automatically associate it. And libtard's one of them, right? They automatically associate it with a type of person, right?
Yeah.
That's not necessarily fair, but that's what happens. And I think that both sides do that. And both sides probably did that to you in that piece.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the thing is, in this game of digital content, the key is clicks and engagement rates. So maybe I used one or two examples, and maybe I used one or two things about Justin Trudeau just to turn up the dial a little bit. And it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
And then I started to realize as the day was going on, I was like, well, like, these people are getting stuck. Oh, sorry. Am I allowed to say these people?
Yeah. Because you're not referring
These
to
people is
skin
okay.
color.
Those
As long as
people
you're referring
is
to
not
white people.
okay.
I want to make sure that we're okay here.
Yeah.
So I realized that it was taking away from the overall messaging, and that people were getting stuck on the Trudeau jabs and all the other stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back, edit a few parts, and just so people can grasp the whole scene of it. And to be completely honest,
you take out the mud.
Since I edited it, no comments.
Right? It's because you took out the like, hey, guess what? Fuck you portions of it.
Basically.
That only works when you're just legitimately skewering unvaccinated people.
Yeah.
You can't, like, listen, it's a game of ratio, right? Like, it's legitimately a game of averages. Like, if you're going to be hardcore on one side, pick the side with the most people, right? That's part of why I cannot fucking believe, I cannot believe some people are still hanging on to that fucking whole thing. Like, we watched it this weekend, right?
It was it was something to see.
Yeah.
It
was
really
interesting,
was.
though. Sorry, Ryan, you can go.
No, I was just going to say, it was like people that are regular commenters on our things, and like they're generally supportive of what we say and what we talk about, and to see them just come unhinged, and it's like, now I see that what you were speaking to, Dean, of the far ultra-vaxxer hiding under the bed, even though they don't live that life, and I know they don't. It's that I need
They
to
performance live it.
Yeah, it's a performative
Right,
thing. Yeah, it's very performative.
Huge.
And we're guilty of that as well. I'm not going to say we're not. At some time, like some points, we may take things a little too far. And Rookie's original story, only because we're friends, and I got to read, and I know I could hear it in his voice as I was reading it.
Frustration.
And it was like, okay, I'm listening to a friend talk, so I understand where he comes from. So, but the reader doesn't have that opportunity. They don't have that luxury of knowing who he is and knowing that he's not an anti-vax fucking idiot. That he legitimately has a problem that is none of your fucking business. He was kind enough to at least refer to it.
That.
But that's what anti-vaxxers also do is, I have a medical condition. I don't have to tell you what it is. It comes across that way to somebody that doesn't know you, right? So,
well, it's like it's the same thing when you go like, oh yeah, well I've got a friend, and it's like, well, fuck, it could be anything, right? Like your medical condition could be like legitimately penile warts, and you could just be saying this, and this is what everybody does. Like everybody's like these guys, those people, this friends, you people. Like you got to be way less generic. And so when you're going to approach a story like that, use your distinct medical condition. Like make sure you tell people what you're going, because then they're going to go, oh, okay, I get it, because they can trace it back, right? So but in this case, I loved it because a lot of fucking people read it this weekend. Like literally tens of thousands of people read it, and I'm like, I don't care if someone calls.
The best part for me was obviously there was lots of people hammering me online, and then the one this morning was, it made me literally spit out my coffee. It said, you really sucked in the game against the 49ers. And I was like, yes, finally, one that is good. Marcus, shut the fuck up. You're fucking idiot.
You see them? They're calling it Aaron Rodgers throw Rogan on the weekend.
Yeah.
And Aaron Rodgers. Fuck, that make me laugh.
But overall, just to put a bow on it, just be nicer, folks. That's it. Just have some compassion. I was thinking about
that this weekend because I wrote a post on it, because I think I've legitimately changed my entire mind when it comes to anti-vaxxers. Legitimately.
Yeah. I read your thing, and I think we all need to take a page out of something along that line and just turn the fucking temperature down a little bit when we're talking with people, because you're right.
Fuck you guys.
Why did we get vaccinated?
I was fucking saying this shit in 2020, and you guys are like, James,
we told you that it's we're all working on the same circle here. You're just on the back end of that train.
James is totally right.
Oh, I know he is.
We literally we how do you say it when you
like an intervention?
No, like
James, you really got to take it harder on the
anti-vax.
No. Like when we groomed you is what we did.
Yeah, because as soon as I put out a piece where I was like, you know what, fuck you, vaccine conspiracy. Ever since then, you guys are like, wait a second, maybe a little bit too hard on me.
We've evolved faster. Okay,
Let me
that's all it
explain
is.
Let me explain to you the piece that I put up because I thought it made a lot of sense.
I read it and I thought, I don't remember writing this.
So I said I've changed my mind about the unvaccinated, and here's why. Now, let me just quickly break this down. The reason why I've changed my mind is this, and I'm going to throw it out there. Do what you want with it. Throw it back if you want. If not, put it in your pocket. Carry it around with you for the rest of the day. But here's the thing. This is not going away. 1.5 million Ontarians and something like 5 million Canadians are not vaccinated and will not get vaccinated. Right?
We're at that point now. We're not convincing the hardliners at all.
4 million. Yeah. 20%. Now, if you actually legitimately went to Harvard and you did a study about the other pandemic, which is stupidity, it's true, you'll realize if you take a cross-section of every person on the planet, put them into 5 groups, 20% of those groups will be considered vulnerable because their cognitive abilities they don't function properly. It's my nice way of saying they are genetically predisposed or slow, or in some cases handicapped. That's how dumb they are. And I mean, listen, I'm not saying this to make fun of people that are having different mental cognitive ability levels. All this shit. All I'm saying is that if that is the case, if science tells us 20% of the world, which mirrors the unvaccinated number in first world or developed countries, 20%, on or around.
That's really high. Holy shit.
Very high. Yeah, there's and I think the dumb people quotient's closer to 30, 40.
But they can still drive big trucks to Ottawa. It's great.
But listen, I want to say this. because I do believe this is 100% true. I got vaccinated for them because they're technically vulnerable. Like, those are the people that are too dumb to get it. So my point is this, is that when I got vaccinated for my family first, because I love them, and then for the greater good. So the most vulnerable members of society who I might come in contact with, cancer patients, children with autoimmune issues, people with autoimmune issues, and people who generally were less fortunate than me, right? Vulnerable. I count that 20% that's running around acting like morons in that vulnerable category. And so for me, it's very difficult to do because I've seen a lot of it today, because I wrote this piece on it and said, hey, basically, here's the deal. I count all of you people and I put you in the vulnerable category with all the handicapped people and the people with diabetes and all that other stuff. So really, I got vaccinated for them too. So we shouldn't really be fighting these guys like we are. I mean, that doesn't seem like, I know it's a backhanded thing. I really do. But I truly believe that. If I got vaccinated for the most vulnerable and the people that I love the most, I got vaccinated for the people who just couldn't figure it out because the gray matter didn't work the way everybody else's did. They are vulnerable too. What do we think?
Like
Am I on to something?
Like rookie, according to Twitter.
Yeah.
But also, if you put all them in the same category, in the same box, it's a lot of drool. You know, it's going to spread.
It's going to drown them out.
It's got to get some towels in there to clean it up.
Yeah.
Ray, am I on to something?
Sure.
That's the best way to do it.
You got it, pal.
Somebody knows how to
Is
keep the
paying
show
attention.
going. Good for you.
No, I'm telling you, if you look at it like that, Ray, what we were just talking about is this. Ray Rauth, ladies and gentlemen, our NFL blogger, podcaster, talking
weekend.
football with Ray. We're going to get to the best weekend of football I've ever experienced.
Same.
But just quick, like, if I got vaccinated for the less vulnerable, if someone doesn't have the mental capacity and the cognitive ability to understand how this works, I got vaccinated for them, so I shouldn't be yelling about it all the time, correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's what I was saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
You nailed it. Way to go, Ray.
It's a very deep way of looking at it. Good job, I guess.
Thank
you know,
you.
and I guess we're kind of all, taking a bit of a page and taking a step back with Rookie's anti-vax article and your
New lease
concession-
on vaccine life.
concession article. It's it's been something.
It's my PBC propaganda article, Ryan. Get it right.
It's been very
Here's-
eye-opening.
Please.
Ray,
Here's why I
go
think
ahead.
Dean's right, though, because I'll take it from a different perspective. I'll take what I do for a living. So I work with people who are seeking employment, primarily coming with barriers to employment. And we used to take the effect of yelling at them to get a job. Stop being lazy, go get a job wherever we find it. Go work at McDonald's. I don't want to work at McDonald's. Don't be lazy. Contribute to society. Go work there. And then they would just stay on OW, Ontario Works, welfare, whatever you want to call it, the rest of their lives. You have to nurture people, and screaming at them doesn't work. It's like childing. It's parenting. I scream at my kids now, and they've heard me scream so much they kind of look at me because they know everything I scream at them is an empty threat. So it's just a shrug of the shoulders. So
Oh, you do that too, eh? You do
oh
that
yeah.
too.
Oh God. My kids have had to pack their bags 10 times to leave the house. Never done it. They're just like, all right,
Taking all the
Dad,
toys and throwing them out.
let me know when you chilled out.
You know what? The worst word in any parent's language is if. If you don't, because then you got to back it up, right?
Yeah.
And then your mouth like writes checks your body can't cash. Like, if you touch that again, I'm going to break your hand. And they touch it, and you're like, fuck, pot committed. I got to break your hand.
Yeah.
It's like
sorry,
when
man.
It's like when you're doing the countdown and you get to 3.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh shit.
Fuck,
You
push
know?
is going to come to shove. I'm going to have to
do
do something here.
What do I do now?
And we knew
Fake a
we knew
seizure.
that about people. We knew that about people like after World War II, they captured a bunch of Nazis, or during World War II, and they were like doing the normal thing that militaries do, which is like making them not comfortable. Sometimes they went over the line and everything. They were putting them in pain. And then when the Americans decided that they wanted to like interrogate in a different way, what they did was they were just really nice to them. And they got like 10 times more of the information that they would have if they weren't nice to them.
They
So,
went to the moon because they were nice to him.
Right.
Like, seriously. Yeah.
I'm actually surprised, Ray, that like that your off or whatever department it is that you work for would have taken that approach at the beginning. Like, I don't know, was that really successful for the recipients?
No, and we worked at that time I worked primarily with youth. And we really early in my career, the field was really set up that we felt there was like a control thing with youth. Like we would just talk and they would just listen, and if they didn't want to listen, we would get mad, and then we would just close them off, say we're not going to work with you anymore, and we would threaten them with stuff. It was a really stupid idea until some smart people out there one day were like, hey, you know what? If we found them a job that they actually enjoy, maybe they'll actually accept the job and not quit. So it's social workers are constantly guilty of making their clients dependent on them. Because if we don't have clients, we don't have jobs, we don't get to feel good about ourselves. It's a big vicious circle, right? And it's all about empowering and giving clients purpose. My specific discipline is called logotherapy, which was developed by Viktor Frankl, and it's all about purpose. It's all about giving somebody a reason to wake up in the morning and find a purpose in their life. Yelling at them is not going to motivate them to do anything, and it was the stupidest approach we ever took.
And that wasn't, when I was writing this piece, that wasn't lost on me. Not that I am the arbiter of making great decisions, gentlemen, but that wasn't lost on me. And I'll tell you something. My entire life changed when I stopped yelling at my kids. Stopped. My entire life changed when I acted like an advisor to them, who was there for their needs as opposed to making them do things, telling them how life works. And so if these guys are really as childlike as we know they are, because cognitively they struggle, right? Then like doubling down all the time and calling them fucking losers and, telling them that they're useless to society is like, it's one of those things that I don't think works. You know what I mean? Like, I think in general, you catch more flies with honey than you do with shit. Or sorry, vice versa. Do you catch more? Yeah, I think you catch more flies with honey than turds. Unless it's a really juicy turd. And it's like legit a turd fly. Then maybe not so much.
Holy shit. A year, you're going to be like, maybe I shouldn't talk about
where are we now?
On my show.
Do we hate anti-vaxxers again? Is that where we just ended up with that?
We started talking about poop and James checked out. He's like, I'm out.
Yeah, as soon as we started talking about it. Yeah.
Well, I'm just so floored that you are literally like verbatim repeating what I said. James, no.
I don't remember saying any of this.
I did. It led to one of the better micro content clips that we've ever produced.
Yeah, it was.
I'm being honest.
Well, dude, like, how much longer are we gonna keep doing this? That's my thing, Ray, Ryan, James, Chris. My thing is like, oh, okay, well, we know they're not getting vaccinated, and it does. We've said everything. We've said everything for the last fucking year,
but we didn't start at the right on the right foot. That was my whole point, even fun. Like 2 years ago, that we didn't start by not bullying and mocking. There was never a period of time for 6 months or something where we were like, wow, it's crazy how we're being so nice to them and they're not listening. Like that was fiction. That didn't happen.
We started with the ship them
just backwards. That's
Kenora.
Yeah, we started off hot, didn't we? Anyway, that's just my thought. I was like, so Ray, I watched maybe 4 of the best football games I've ever seen this weekend. You?
Yeah, collectively they were fantastic. The Packers game was kind of boring until the end. I didn't realize they couldn't kick or punt. That was a kind of a shock to me.
But come on. So we watched Aaron Rodgers. I love it. Joe Throgan, whatever you want to call him. Throw Rogan. Joe Throgan. We watched him lose, and I watched, like, legitimately the football world rejoice. Was that weird for you?
No, because it actually happens every year. This year, it just happened to be about his anti-vaccination piece.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Aaron
point.
Rodgers is one of those players. Tom Brady's one of them, too. If you look close enough, there was a lot of Tom Brady tweets yesterday after he got knocked out. There's an apparent jealousy amongst a lot of fan bases. And it gets even worse when you have a good quarterback. And I'm starting to see that a little bit with the Buffalo Bills fans now that they've realized how special Josh Allen is. But like when you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, they were talking about dynasties the year they got knocked out of the AFC Championship game. And they have nothing nice to say about Tom Brady or Aaron Rodgers. So that's already kind of been ingrained. People don't like success. It's a part of it. And because of that, he's going to go on it. However, what happened this year is he had people like me who actually don't go down that road with him, because I hate arguments when people try to say that their quarterback's better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, nobody's better than Aaron Rodgers. But they even had people like me making jokes. I think I tweeted right after the game, it's official, Aaron Rodgers is boycotting the Super Bowl. It's
I heard he hasn't.
I had a
actually accepted
Packers fan, dude. I had a Packers fan send me a tweet after I posted one of your stories. He told me to go fuck myself, and I'm like, Packers fan?
Yeah.
He apparently hasn't accepted the loss. He said he's going to wait for the research to come in before he makes a decision to accept the loss.
I saw a tweet, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was Matt Chatham. He's a Patriots guy, former Patriots player. He's fucking hilarious. But he wrote something along the lines of, I've read the information about the anti-Super Bowl side of things and the Super Bowl is great side of things. And what I discovered is I can't trust what the mainstream media says about the Super Bowl. And that one almost made me fall off my chair. Like, that was just a fucking bravo.
Great.
Bravo, Matt. Because
Dean,
Yeah.
can I go through some of the best ones?
Yeah, sure. Go
I
ahead.
did a wee bit of a gallery this weekend of all of the best Aaron Rodgers tweets.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Congratulations.
And then we'll get to then we'll get to Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, because I'm still touching myself after that game. Go ahead.
Congratulations to Jimmy Garoppolo on replacing Dr. Fauci as Aaron Rodgers' least favorite Italian. The good thing for Aaron Rodgers is that losing to the same team 4 times in the playoffs builds natural immunity. Unlike Aaron Rodgers' play calling, vaccines actually work. Well, all thought Aaron Rodgers had a shot, which has happened before. Just to be clear, Aaron Rodgers wasn't eliminated. He's just immunized from the Super Bowl.
Yeah, exactly.
Everyone stop making fun of Aaron Rodgers. He hates being jabbed.
Yeah.
Look on the bright side for Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't have to worry about meeting POTUS at the White House.
That's true.
And then the biggest one, which isn't even a tweet or a joke, it's just a fact. Since 2017, Blake Bortles has the same amount of playoff wins as Aaron Rodgers. That's just reality.
Wham wham. Close big.
Yeah, but he's still good. I love the hate for some reason. And it's funny because it's like one of those things. It was like watching the Leafs lose. It's like, fuck, I enjoy it. And I want them to win, but it's like one of the narratives that I kind of really enjoy hanging on to, that loser narrative. Which
I will
is
tell
interesting.
you, though,
what's that?
I will tell you, I don't rage often. It's just not something I do. But when I do, it's always fantastic. If Aaron Rodgers isn't the MVP this year, though, I'm going to go fucking ballistic. And because there's been a lot, I know one guy came out public, but there's been a lot of chatter behind the scenes. And even some of the people I know behind the scenes have said it to me, that there was a lot of reporters out there that didn't want to vote for him to be MVP over the whole vaccination thing.
Yeah.
And for me, this is now the press, which, I've got a beef with a lot of them. They're now making what happens on the field, what happens off the field about on the field. And to me, when you start talking about the integrity of the game and what happens on the game, it has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers' vaccination status. The amount of time that he missed this year when he caught COVID would have been the same amount of time he would have missed if he was vaccinated, due to the according to the policies at that time around COVID-19. When you vote for the most valuable player, you're voting for the best player in the league. It doesn't matter if he's an asshole. You're not voting for who's the best character guy in the league. That's what the Walter Payton Award is for.
Yeah.
The MVP is for what happens on the field. And if he doesn't win it this year, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be in one of those moods on my podcast where it's going to be a lot of screaming and you're going to put your volume down low.
Well, because of what it says about the person in society, like sports writing, talking about COVID determining and someone's vaccination status. And I'm bullies for vaccination status. I hope everybody's vaccinated. I know it works. I know Chris isn't. Doesn't bother me because I get it. I know what he's dealing with. But when he sat there and lied to start the season, and the fallout from that, watching Terry Bradshaw, his favorite guy, go, "You're a fucking liar." I thought that was appropriate, but I agree with you. I mean, it has nothing to do with what he did playing football this year, and it's a football award, right? It's not like a not lying award. Like, no one.
Well,
in
yeah,
the
It's not
NFL's
an
winning
integrity
that.
award.
Yeah.
Well, but
It's
that's
based on performance.
Yeah.
It goes back to the conversation we're having last week when you asked if I can separate. We're talking about Joe Rogan and we can separate things, and I said I watch the NFL. I cover the NFL. I love the NFL. There's a lot of shitty people who play in the NFL that are idolized as football players who I wouldn't want to come 10 feet near my house or my daughters or anything of that nature just because they're pieces of shit in real life. However, what happens on the field happens on the field, and I'm able to separate that. And if he's not MVP or he's low in the votes because of things that happen off the field, the MVP means the all pro already means nothing to me. I already think it's a joke. The fact that nobody on Buffalo is an all pro or is a pro bowler, the pro bowl is a joke. And if they make the MVP a joke, you might just get rid of the fucking NFL honors because it's useless and it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah,
It's not performance based at that point. It's character based, and that's not what the awards are for. If you want to give him the biggest fucking idiot award, great.
I think Twitter's
not
already
for
crowned him
performance.
that one.
Yeah,
Ryan.
It seems to have.
Yeah, I mean, he's taking his lumps, right? Like, I mean, we had a good time with him this year. Everybody else had a good time with him this year. The fact that he went out like throw Rogan and was called #Aaron Rodgers. I mean, the guy's been beat up enough, and it has not. And let's listen. Do I care if he's and again, turn the page. Like, can you separate the two, which is incredible because we've been able to separate Josh Allen. He's not vaccinated, right? And I watched him go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes in what could quite possibly – and you and I were tweeting about it last night back and forth or DMing back and forth. Was that the best – I mean, sorry, Bills Mafia. Apologize to the fan base. Would have loved for the Bills to have won that game. It was basically a coin toss watching two gunslingers play basically two perfect offensive games, maybe two of the best quarterbacks, and the best quarterback football game I've ever seen. What is your take on the matchup between Mahomes and Allen? What is your take on how Bills fans process this loss? Because I think they're processing it pretty well. I mean, they were given a team and a quarterback that's, and the quarterback is generational from what I saw yesterday. But to have the two games he had and to not be moving on to the AFC Championship is fucking bananas to me.
Yeah, so a lot to unpack there. Well, let's start with Josh Allen just off the top. I have a podcast that's primarily geared towards New England Patriot fans, and tonight's episode is named Josh Allen is going to be a problem for a long time. Josh Allen is a freak of nature. We've never seen a quarterback like Josh Allen. I was comparing him to Michael Vick about a week ago from a talent perspective, but it got pointed out to me by a guy named Jay Spence, who works for Buffalo Rumblings, who was like, dude, Michael Vick didn't have the arm that Josh Allen has. And he really is. He's like, so the way I explain him, and Patriot fans are going to go nuts tonight when I give my comparison, but I think the names I used was he's a combination of Lamar Jackson, Michael Vick, Ben Roethlisberger, and Tom Brady all mixed into one, because you can't discount what his mind is. Fuck you, Buffalo Bills, for drafting him and me having to deal with him for the next 10 to 12 years. But he's absolutely unbelievable. But let's talk about that game last night. Okay, so is it the best game I ever seen? Last night I would have told you yes. I was very much a prisoner of the moment. However, we went live and people started giving me, and my producer Mike and I were chatting, and he was like, what about the Patriots 28-3 comeback? And what about Super Bowl 49? And we start talking. I understand why it's the best game a Buffalo Bills fan or a Kansas City Chiefs fan ever watched. However, when I started talking about it, it's definitely in my top 5 though. That's the conclusion I came to. I'll tell you how Buffalo Bills fans should feel, because after I got out of the moment I was in, and I tweet through in the entire NFL day nonstop, and I think the only thing I could come up with last night for half the time was, "Oh my God, what the fuck? What is happening?" Like I was so caught up in that game. If I was a Bills fan, I'd be pissed today. And I mean that 100%, because I went back on my lunch break today and I watched the condensed version of the game.
Holy fuck, you love football.
I do. I knew I was coming on here too, so I wanted to. Usually I can remove my adrenaline, I can remove myself from a game and just take it in. But last night it was just so fucked. It was so great.
That's prep. I barely put
being
pants
in the
on
moment
to get here.
Sean McDermott fucked the Bills. And I know that Bills fans, some don't want to accept it, some do. I caused a little bit of a stir on Twitter today. 13 seconds left in the game.
Mm-hmm.
You squib kick the ball. Because if you squib kick the ball and don't just bang it out of the end zone like they did, you take a play away. There's not enough time left in the game to make that pass to Kelsey.
Right.
13 seconds left in the game. Why are you rushing 4? Why is Kelsey being so on that Kelsey catch, which set up the field goal? He literally had a free run off the line.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody rubbed him. Nobody bumped him. They should have been rushing 3. They should have been in a zone hybrid. They should have been rubbing. They should have been playing aggressive. You already got burnt by Tyreek Hill. You actually set yourself up to be burnt again. And I watched that last 13 seconds and I rewound it and watched the series about 5 times back like over again. And I turned around and I almost, as an outsider, became a believer in Sean McDermott. Dean, I had you on my show and I was trying to make you a believer then. However, watching that last 13 seconds, I'd be pissed if I was a Bills fan today because they fucking shit the bed in that last 13 seconds. I get being caught in the moment. I get the season. I get all that kind of stuff, but remove yourself from it now. What are we, 18 hours later, whatever it may be. Sean McDermott fucked that game.
Well, but hold it. Any credit for Patrick Mahomes being on the other side of the field? Because he had to make those plays. He had to those 2 plays that he made towards the end of the get him into field goal position to ice the game. And I was actually looking forward to because I thought Butker might miss it because he punted a couple of extra points. And I'm like, it's fucking gonna miss it, right?
Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback
but it was
in the
Mahomes.
NFL.
Yeah, dude, I watched him. There was a little screen pass he threw to Tyreek Hill in the first half of the game. That little sidearm sling pass. I give full credit to Josh Allen because he played well. I mean, you go over the stats of both of these guys. You got to give Patrick Mahomes credit in the last 13 seconds. What was it, like 4 lead changes in the last 2.5 minutes? Something like 28 points total in the last 2-3 minutes of a game. These are the stats from the game. Like the team stats, total yards, almost 1,000 for both teams. 1,000 fucking yards.
Well, yeah, there's 700 yards between the 2 quarterbacks, and I think there's another 130 in rushing.
Yeah, there is.
Just between the 2 quarterbacks. So
yeah,
it's unbelievable. However, I'll put this on the table for you, Dean. If Kansas City is playing against Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel, Mike Tomlin, Peterson, they're not as good as Patrick Mahomes is. They're not doing what they did in that 13 seconds. That's the whole piece behind it. And that's why McDermott was getting grilled, right? Did you think about squib kicking it? Well, we thought about a lot of things. And he basically said, it's on me, right? Yeah. So there was execution, and that starts with me. It starts with you because you, A, called the wrong defense. You, B, elected to kick the ball out of the end zone. So I get Bills fans wanting to take this game as a happy moment, and you should. The Buffalo Bills are going to be good for a long time. You're not the Jacksonville Jaguars where this is your one and only shot. Like when they had Blake Bortles that season, I think it was 2017 when they got to the AFC Championship game. You're going to be back there again, assuming you can keep a lot of the team together. I don't think losing Dayball is actually a hindrance to you. I think getting some fresh blood in that position, because Dayball tried to run Josh McDaniels' offense. He just did a poor job of it. And I think trying to put Josh Allen into an EP system is not the right system for Josh Allen. So I think if you can bring someone in who can bring a spread or a West Coast or something of that nature, it'll actually be better for them. I would love to see Josh Allen have some more designed runs. You saw how lethal he was last night.
He's unstoppable when he runs the ball. Like there was a point, I think, in the first half where they were just doing like a handoff. They went 3 and out. And I remember thinking, fuck, let him throw the football. And then the next pass, he goes in on the next series, throws a 57-yard strike to Gabriel Davis to bring him within 3. And I'm like, exactly, let the fucking guy cook, right? And that was all your offensive coordinator, right? It was Brian Daboll just being a little fucking conservative and saying, I'm not interested in giving the ball away. But we saw that the game before that too, right? With the Rams and the Bucks, where they decided to fucking cozy up to the win that they thought they had, and Tom Brady almost made him eat it at the end of the game. It's kind of the same thing.
Daboll cut his teeth as a coach with the Patriots, right? And he was their tight end coach. and he bounced around a couple other places, but he really cut his teeth with the Patriots. And he brought the EP system to Buffalo, which is what Josh McDaniels, even Bill O'Brien, that's what the Patriots been going all the way back to Charlie Weiss. That's what the Patriots been running EP since Drew Bledsoe. And I think that there's a little bit of a comparison between Drew Bledsoe and Josh Allen in the sense of the type of quarterback they are. Josh Allen's just a way superior athlete to them. However, I don't think and I've had this argument with a guy I have on my show every Wednesday who's a Buffalo guy, and I don't think the EP system works for Josh Allen. So Daboll leaving and someone else coming in or taking a fresh spin on things and trying to not run the Patriots offense and running your own offense. And again, going to a spread offense, which I think could open up Josh Allen's legs a little bit more too. Or you could even take the approach that Baltimore took where they basically customized an offense for Lamar Jackson. Josh Allen is that good of an athlete and has that great of an arm that you could customize an offense for him and not run into the Earl Perkins offense. You just go into whatever you need to go into.
Yeah, there's a comment that came in that said Allen is a running back and a quarterback, and I totally agree with that.
Well, he's a tight end too. I mean, the dude's
crazy.
He's Ben Roethlisberger. If you really look at it, he's a much more athletic Ben Roethlisberger with a better arm. Because when Ben came into the league, that's how he played. He was the guy who would run people over. I mean, there was a play last night. He hit what the hell's that guy's name? Ward, Tre'Davious Ward, I think. He ran him over, and Tre'Davious Ward had to be taken off the field and go to the blue medical tent. I'm like, dude, you just got run over by a quarterback. Like, do you know how embarrassing that is? Like, the quarterback just sent you to the medical tent.
Yeah. He's a big fuck, though, dude. Josh Allen is not a small guy. Like, you watch him line up when he's in the huddle and he's got the offensive line guys. And usually, so like, watch the Arizona Cardinals game next year because they're out. Watch a Cardinals game with Kyler Murray. He's like 5'3", and everybody's like, fucking. But Josh Allen towers over his offensive line. He's that good. Yep. But anyway, a couple things I want to get to before we let you go. You were 0 for 4 this weekend. Congratulations, great job.
Yeah, you know what? I got a bone to pick you with that. I got to really have this conversation because I was here last week.
Yeah.
And I didn't hear, hey, Ray, great job going 7-1 this week and showing that you know your football. Nobody even fucking mentioned it when I was flexing it all over.
We only dunk.
But you just had to dunk all over me all over the I almost no-showed today, just so you know, just based on the description alone.
Glad you had the nuts. Glad you had the nuts to show up.
No,
but you went
I do want to...
No, hang on. So none of the 4 here are any of the ones you picked, right?
No, none of them. Good for you. I want to talk about this though. I knew we were going to focus primarily on the Bills and the Chiefs, but I need to talk about these other games a little bit. Ryan Tannehill is the most useless fucking piece of shit I've ever seen play football in my life.
Oh, you mean he's Ryan Tannehill?
Oh my God!
He's owed $29 million guaranteed next year.
He's going to be the third highest paid quarterback in the NFL next year, and they're the third biggest cap hit of all quarterbacks. All Tennessee needed. I mean, listen, they were hitting Joe Burrow like he slept with Mike Vrabel's wife, right? Like 9 sacks in that game, 9 sacks. I think an additional 11 quarterback hits. He was hit 20 times on the field. They needed mediocre football play from their quarterback. They needed mediocre quarterback play, and they would have won that game by 10 points. I was disgusted. The interception was disgusting. I just sat there. I had a blog wrote already. I had a great title, and Ryan Tannehill fucked it all up with that interception at the end of the game.
Oh, that's the worst when you write your prediction ahead of time because you're so sure, and then you've got like 1,000 words and you got to delete it.
Oh, you got to write 2.
I came up with the title. The title was going to be Joe Burrow must have slept with Mike Vrabel's wife. I was so excited for the title. I didn't even care about the content. I didn't even care about the body. The title is what excited me the most, and I was already working on the graphic. That screwed up. The Green Bay game. It's turnover. It's unbelievable what that Mercedes Lewis turnover did to that game because it looked like Green Bay was going to march the field, go up by 14. It looked like it was going on a blowout, and things just fell apart after that. And Aaron Rodgers looked bad. He did. He looked really, really bad. And but a blocked punt, a blocked field goal. And did you know on the game-winning kick by Gold that the Packers only had 10 players on the field? Their special teams, you can only send out 10 guys. Matt
LaFleur really ate it right after that too. It was like Matt LaFleur, like, are you fucking idiot? You don't have enough guys on the field.
Well, he is on the special team. So.
That's true.
That's true.
Special teams matter. And then
That's right.
the Bucks
Dean loves
game,
them now.
the Bucks game, you've got, 17 seconds left in the game. It's going to go to overtime. Your team just came back from a 27-3 deficit, even though the Rams were trying to do everything they could to help you win that game.
Yeah.
I see my producer in the comments, because Matthew Stafford's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. He couldn't get the job done. However, you call an all-out blitz on the last play of the game and put Cooper Kupp in man-to-man coverage. Like, what we saw in a lot of these games was ridiculous play calling. And I go back to the end of the Bills game with the last 13 seconds. I go back to the final game that knocked out Tampa Bay. Bruce Arians should be out of a job after that call alone, or at least Byron Leftwich should be out of a job. No, Todd Bowles. Byron Leftwich is the OC. Todd Bowles should be out of a job. And Ryan Tannehill should be arrested just because he's robbing Tennessee.
Dude, but I told
Seems
you,
rational.
like, I remember when they signed him to that monster deal after he had a couple decent seasons, and I'm like, he's still going to be Ryan Tannehill at some point. Like, he's going to return to the median, right? And you got Derrick Henry behind him, so of course he didn't look like Ryan Tannehill when he showed up, but at some point you're going to turn into Ryan Tannehill. Either way, doesn't matter. They're out. We've got Kansas City Bengals. It's going to be a Kansas City Rams final, right? Like, it has to be because of LA's, and it's in LA. Fuck, that would be incredible at SoFi Stadium. Because I can't see after watching Von Miller and Floyd. What's his name? Floyd.
Leonard Floyd.
Leonard Floyd. And Aaron Donald basically just assault Tom Brady for 4 quarters.
Yeah.
I can't see it. And this is how Super Bowls are won, right? Like, if you remember Tom Brady's Super Bowl losses, why did he lose those Super Bowls? Miracle catch by David Tyree was one of them, but both of those Super Bowls that they both lost, they lost because they had no time and space. They took it all away from Jason Pierre-Paul. I remember that fucking Super Bowl. Jason Pierre-Paul couldn't miss. Same with Michael Strahan back in the day before he became an astronaut / television host.
Yeah. Michael Strahan was unbelievable. People forget how good Michael Strahan was. I mean,
he was unbelievable.
TJ Watt
that run because he was done, right? He just came back for that run. Didn't even go to the fucking training camp. He was, and I'll never forget that playoff series, that season that they had that year that they won with that incredible catch. I'll never forget it because it was all about JPP and Michael Strahan.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that was when JPP had all his fingers too, right?
You mean the play when there should have been a whistle 4 different times?
I don't get caught up in that.
I do. I get caught up huge in that play.
I think that we need to be careful though with the Rams, fellas, because they did blow that lead and were seconds away from becoming a meme again and losing to Tom Brady 27-3. Because what I saw with that fourth quarter, and Dean, you mentioned this in our DM group, is that Sean McVay was coaching scared, and Jalen Ramsey got beat pretty cleanly by Mike Evans in one-on-one coverage, and he's one of your anchors. So I think that they need to go back and do some soul searching as to what happened in that fourth quarter.
McVay needs to pull his head out of his ass, to be real, on a couple of different things. He played scared. I mean, I think even Tony Romo kept saying it, or Chris Collinsworth kept saying it. Like, you got to play offense here. You can't play. You got to play. Got to have a series. But my biggest gripe was Sony Michel had 1 carry yesterday for 4 yards, and that was his entire output to the game. Michel carried that run game for the last 7 weeks heading into the playoffs. And then all of a sudden, I know Cam Akers is your guy, but he had 2 crucial fumbles, because if he doesn't fumble at the end of the second half, we're not even having a discussion. It's just a blowout going into it's now a 35-point game, or 35-3 game. The game's over, but he fumbles at the 3-yard line or whatever it may be. And then he fumbled that ball near the end of the game, which is what tied up the game for Tampa Bay. And he was bailed out by an idiotic decision from Tampa Bay, and Cooper Kupp being a freak of a wide receiver. Sony Michel has to run the football next week. And from a business standpoint, the Rams need this win really, really bad. First of all, they're going to be the first team to be able to host an NFC champion, like a championship game, and the Super Bowl in the same year. Number 2, I might have talked about this last week. I can't remember, but the Rams are the Clippers in LA. Everybody loves the Chargers. The Chargers are the up and young coming team. They're the Lakers of Los Angeles, and that wasn't supposed to be the plan. The Rams were supposed to be the Lakers, and the Chargers were supposed to be the Clippers. So if they lose this game on Sunday, or even lose in the Super Bowl, it's gonna hit them, and it's gonna hit their pocketbook really hard too. Because LA is like Toronto, very bandwagon and team. People will get behind their teams when they're winning, and this is a huge couple of games for them. And McVay needs to use Cam Newton, and I think they can't rely on Matthew Stafford. I've said it 1,000 times. He was given way too many excuses in Detroit. He's not as good as people are trying to perceive him to be right now.
Looked pretty good at the end of the game.
I think it should also be mentioned too that the Rams tried the last time that the 49ers and Rams played. It was basically a 49ers home game at SoFi.
Yep.
And the Rams tried to block tickets for if you're not living in the Los Angeles area. And just before we came on this show, Ticketmaster's like, nope.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So that's another factor
skullduggery.
too, is
I
that
like it.
as Ray said, they're like the Clippers. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's just a sea of red at SoFi on
Good.
San Fran also swept them this year, and I think a lot of people are forgetting about that. But that's the only actually advantage I give to the Rams, because do you want to play a team for the third time that you beat twice? Or, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. But in both games were pretty handed victories by San Francisco. But the Rams have to win. I mean, they're the team. And I need to give a big shout out to Odell Beckham Jr., who's clearly wasn't the problem in Cleveland. And it's Baker Mayfield, which I've been screaming from the rooftops. Because he doesn't seem to be a problem in LA. So I just wanted to get that in because I try to get it in everywhere.
Yeah, and he had a little one-handed grab yesterday towards the end of the game where it was like almost like this crazy miracle grab, and you're like, fuck, you've seen that before. Chris Collinsworth said it as well. And he didn't pimp it after. And I'm like, oh, he's learning to be a human being along the way too. Good. Nice to see you. Ray Rauth, he is our NFL blogger. You can find him at Talking Football with Ray on YouTube, at rayrauth.com, as well as where you can read a lot of his stuff or at deanblundell.com. Really appreciate you doing this, brother. Thanks. Did you want to have your picks for this weekend, or are you a little gun shy after getting dormied last weekend?
No. Kansas City's going to wipe the floor with Cincinnati, so congratulations, Bengals, on your victory. And I think LA is going to beat San Francisco, so clearly it's going to be a Cincinnati's 49ers Super Bowl because
probably, yeah.
Kiss of death. So just real quick, yesterday I was doing a spot on a Buffalo show, and I was telling them that I was 0 for 2 and I needed Sunday to be well. I needed to be good. And I said, I got Tampa and the Bills. And when it was 27-3, he texted me and said, did you really fucking take Tampa? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, and you took the Bills? And I'm like, yeah. He said, fuck you.
Well, you get treated like you did it. You caused the
It's my
loss.
fault. I'm the guy. Sean McDermott should have called me out after the game.
Appreciate you, brother. Thanks.
I got a quick question for Ray.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know it, but I think everybody that's in the comments might want to know. But for domestic automakers in North America, which dealership has the most CFL players working for it? Is it Ford, Chevy, or Dodge?
Great question.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. I thought a lot of them worked at the dollar store, but
that's who owns the teams.
Just wondering which dealership had the most car salespeople.
I'd say Ford. Probably Ford.
Okay.
Do you think Josh Allen could handle 3-down football? Because he seems to be really good on fourth down. He seems to be really good on fourth down.
Yeah.
He was 4 for 4 with a touchdown on fourth down yesterday.
He'd have to be one of those athletes
but he needed that fourth down.
You
But
can't come to the CFL when you go 4 for 4 in the NFL. There's only 3 downs.
Worst tweet of the weekend was from Matt Dunnigan. He said, "Oh, the Chiefs and Bills turned into a CFL game." I was like, "Fuck you."
Oh yeah, 100%,
Matt
100%.
Dunnigan.
Yeah, because the talent in this CFL, holy fuck, it's unmatchable.
The NFL hates the CFL so much that they wouldn't even let Doug Flutie play in the playoffs after he carried the team.
Yeah, Rob Johnson. Which was, to me, the Buffalo Bills deserved to be shitty for 15 years after that, because I don't know why you make 30. That move.
Yeah, I feel like it's been 30. Yeah,
I gave up after 1992. I was that was it for me. I was a Bills fan. And,
I bought refreshments for that game. I really did.
And I actually cheered. I cheered for them. I
you know
cheered
what,
for
though?
them yesterday.
I bet you that CFL punters and kickers are better than the Packers special teams, though. I'll give them that much because that's how they get all their points, right? They punt through the end zone. That's what they
long snappers.
That's how they do it.
Well, it's easy to kick that beach ball. Like you don't have to really look.
Well,
for
yeah,
it.
I know, but the game plan is an overtime, right? Oh, coach, what are we going to do? Just get to the 40 and punt, and we'll win the game.
And try not to bang your head on the uprights
on the
end zone.
goalposts.
See,
Actually,
no one
Ryan,
brought
can
that
you
up. I
explain
was a
something to
little
me?
upset that no one brought that up. The fact that the field goals are in the middle of the field of play.
Well, actually, I brought that up in a blog I wrote the other day for DeanBlundell.com, and some people got upset with me over my. I don't know.
Have you heard of this blog group called Third Down Nation? They're like super CFL fans. Have you heard of these guys?
No, I gotta find them.
Probably for a good reason.
That's funny.
They fucking hate me. I remember
He's
once I
gonna be
was
the
like working at the
troll.
Fan and I took a huge shit on the CFL, like just major league shit. No one watches that stuff. If you watch it, it's because you're blind. That kind of stuff. Or like those players are only there because they're not good enough to play in the NFL, which is true. It's like a fucking lock. There isn't a guy in the CFL that played it down this year that went, it's way better than the NFL.
Well, they asked
fans. Come on.
who was it that came? Was it
My
Chad
namesake
Johnson or
came
Terrell?
here.
It was Chad Johnson that came to the CFL for a year, right?
Joe
Ochocinco?
Cinco. Yeah, he went to Montreal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and they asked him what the biggest difference was, and he says, "Well, the CFL is way faster." And I said, "Oh, really? Like faster than the NFL?" He goes, "Yeah, but they get a fucking 10-yard head start." You know what I mean? Think about it. The receivers are so slow; they got to get a running start before they snap the football.
Dude, I was laughing because I was talking to a dude that played in the CFL for like 3 years after he was dumped from the NFL because of a knee injury. I can't remember the name. He's like, I remember my first game, they spotted the ball at the 53, and I'm like, what the fuck is that?
What's happening? What did
He
I
didn't
do?
know before his first game.
No.
He didn't know the
He's got a
rules.
good enough cook.
No, you didn't know there's a
To be
55
fair, you
yard
don't
line.
need to know the rules to be good. In this
My
NFL.
first high school game ever, when we punted on third down, I was really confused when I didn't play on special teams. I was just offensive lineman, and I got called off and couldn't figure out why I was getting called. I thought I was getting benched on third down just to find out we were punting the football. I didn't know that there was only 3 downs in the game. I wish they would have told me before our first game of the year, but it was brutal.
All I did when I was a kid was watch a CFL because we had what I like to call welfare vision. We had 3 channels. So like all I would get are CFL games, and that was when Warren Moon and the Edmonton Eskimos were a dynasty. They won like 5 in a row. And it was fascinating because I remember my first NFL game, I watched a Lions-Packers game. It was like I was young, very, very young. And and I'm like, what's this 4th down? So wait a second, they get 4 chances. Actually, they get 3 instead of 2. This is way more fucking exciting. Just from and I was like 7. like it's just so easy for me to process is that there's more chances for you to enjoy it. The fucking and then I remember going at 7. Why is the field goal right in the middle of the end zone?
Don't they run into that every time?
What are
And
these
they do.
fans in the stands? What is this? It's
There's
not-
YouTube compilations
people out
of
there.
just CFL players running into the goalpost. It's the
Is there?
funniest, yeah, just the
Right,
first
I'm
well,
sold out.
Was the
Did we
game
get that?
invented for prisoners? Like, what was this? What's going on?
Yeah, it was like it was invented as like an intramural thing in jail.
Well,
Yeah.
CFL football.
the
They
to
coated
me,
it with honey and broken glass. That pole, like
Just run right over there. I'll throw it to you. Wham! Ooh.
I never understood. I never understood the bigger ball either. Like, wait, why did we have to change the fucking ball?
the things is first of all, CFL fans will tell you that this game was first, that the Americans stole it from them.
It
Right?
was.
That's it is first. So
That's,
maybe
yeah, okay, that's true.
maybe the Americans have smaller hands. I mean, look at Trump. He always said he had big hands and they weren't, right? So maybe they have smaller hands. But the funniest moment of my life was I went through this couple. It was 2 years ago, I think. It was pre-pandemic. And do you remember when Green Bay was playing in Edmonton for like a preseason game? And the game almost didn't get off because the field was so shitty that the NFL players were like, no, we're not fucking playing on this field. Like there's fucking holes all over the place. You got to go through these potholes.
there's a rake over there and a beaver. What the fuck?
So my biggest interaction on Twitter ever was I just made some comment about I don't understand why NFL players don't like running through 3-foot ditches on our fields. You know what I mean? Like they should like it.
But then they're baseball.
I learned
diamond.
on that, but I learned on that day how many fucking people in Edmonton have Twitter because I just got like if it was the most
Hamilton.
interaction, and But Hamilton people, believe it or not, I can joke with, and they get it. They get it's all tongue in cheek.
Where are those people? Because like two months ago when I was making fun of the Grey Cup, like I had death threats because I was like, this isn't even real football. Guys, like, I'm gonna fucking come to your house and kill you because I'm a Hamilton fan.
Well,
I'm like, whatever. And then all of a sudden, a Sasky fan was like, go fuck yourself. This is the best. You had players get after you.
Oh yeah. Some current. That
was Mazzoli's mom that was tweeting you, by the way.
After you shit all over them.
I
on
think
this
it
show?
was one of the 2-minute drills I did when I was reading like I was an idiot, like I couldn't read, like I was dyslexic, and I was talking about people. I got
it was on ours. Yeah.
All of a sudden, I got some followers from guys who had like fucking jerseys on. All of a sudden, I got DMs. One guy, I made it cool with 2 of the 3. The third guy just ended with, I don't know. You got to take what I say with tongue in cheek. People just take it's fucking football. Relax, guys. Like the game sucks. But if you like it, you know what? My wife likes The Bachelor, right? So it's there's shitty products out there that some people like. So if you like the CFL, you like to. But Ryan, I need you to explain some. You're a CFL fan, right?
I wouldn't say.
Don't do that.
Don't pretend.
I'm a Hamilton guy. Like I'll watch Hamilton, and
can you explain Can you explain why they kick the ball back and forth at each other? Like when they'll kick it into the end zone, and then the guy will kick it back out, and then they'll kick it back in, and they'll kick it back out because why?
They're drunk.
It's a bunch of guys that wanted to play soccer but couldn't, and
that's from a rugby. That's like a rugby-ish rule.
I see. That's a rugby.
It is a rugby
rule.
thing. Yeah, you're right, and I think that's kind of what we enjoy. We take. Pride
Is that
in
the
our
rouge?
kickers.
Is that what it's called? It's called a rouge.
You can still drop kick in the CFL just on a play. You can just like if you're running, you just drop and kick it. If you're, I think,
but they don't do it because they're not fucking idiots.
No, you can punt in the NFL too. You can drop kick in the NFL. They just don't.
They just don't. Yeah.
The last guy to do it in the NFL was Doug Flutie, believe it or not. Guess why?
I would have bet on him, to be honest.
His final game in the NFL for the Patriots on the last game of the season, his final play in the NFL, he drop kicked the ball.
Wow!
Just to say he did it,
just because. Well, nobody else on the team could.
Here's this rule in Canadian football called the rouge, or a single.
Yeah. Oh my God, this is Dean's favorite rule.
Oh fuck! It's a point given. This is why it's unwatchable. Like fuck that, and the players are way worse.
The participation medal.
Yeah. This you get a single point in football in the Canadian Football League for certain plays that involve the ball being kicked into the end zone. Here are the rules. A single is awarded when the ball is kicked in the end zone by any legal means.
Cool.
So you could so can I ask? So effectively, you could just run down the field. Let's say you're 20 yards out instead of you could just boot it through the end zone for fun. It's like I got a point. So you do that all game. You could just do an entire game of singles. Just keep booting that fucking thing into the end zone anytime you're open. Got the ball, boot it. Throw the ball.
Just imagine a tie game. Imagine like a tie game. 20 seconds left in the Grey Cup, and it's just like. Just kick the ball as far as you can and try to
get a point. Gets in there.
Yeah. Bold strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off for it.
Other than a convert, successful or not, or a successful field goal, and the receiving team does not return the kick or the ball out of its own end zone, a single is also scored if a kick, excluding kickoffs, goes out of bounds in the end zone without being touched. Fuck. Hey, you know who needed that rule last night? Sean McVay.
Yeah.
He needed the rouge rule. A single is indicated by a referee raising his right arm and index finger, like this, denoting a 1 point.
How many fans the CFL has?
6.
Just in case anybody's confused, it's 1 point.
1. Singles are not awarded in the following situations if a ball is downed in the end zone after being intercepted in the end zone. Thank you for clarifying that this is a kicking point. If a ball is fumbled outside the end zone, if the kicked ball hits the goalpost since the 70s, before then it was just a live ball, they changed to the 70s.
Oh, that was
in each of the above cases, the defending team is awarded possession of the ball. Here's the thing. So if you fail to kick a field goal and it goes into the end zone or through the end zone, that's a point. So you get awarded for failing. And then as a reward for failing, the other team gets to take the ball at the 25. So you get a reward, they get a reward.
Everybody
it's a
wins.
very Canadian sport.
It really is.
So
You know where else they
the
lo-
participation trophy.
You know
I
where
want
else
to
they
know
lose?
why those things are in the end zone, because it remind when was it San Francisco that got American Gladiators to put that hill in their center field? Is that San Francisco in
No,
baseball?
that was Houston, I believe.
Houston.
Houston.
Like when I saw that, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
so this is like a show between innings. The seventh inning stretch is going to do this weird thing
Oh,
with
no,
the
they
hill.
make them run up the hill to catch pop flies. It's hilarious.
That is
There's a
that.
couple
It's the
ballparks
same
like that.
vein of ridiculousness. Like
Yeah.
let's cause injuries for no reason. at all.
That would actually be interesting for the CFL though if they elevated the field on one side. You know what I
Well,
mean?
made the
CFL.
pitch like this.
Yeah, make it
Yeah.
like this so you can just
uphill
run it
both
down.
ways.
You know, one thing the CFL does do correctly though is overtime. I will say that because they do college style, they do NCAA
Yeah.
style
Like play
overtime.
for play. Because last
Yeah.
night, I mean, you watched the Bills game, and I know I got to let you go, Ray, but you watched the Bills game last night, and you're like, that was a coin toss. Watching those two gunslingers go at it the way they did yesterday, you know, whoever won the coin toss is probably going to win the
Yep.
fucking game because they scored like 1 billion points in the last 3 minutes of the game. So
Yeah, why
anyway,
don't they shut off the play clock after when 2 minutes and less left in the NFL? Like I hate running out the clock stuff. It's so weird. It's like take a knee. I don't know. I don't think it's a good rule. I think when there's 2 minutes left, the clock should stop at every play so that
Well,
It could
that's
be
because
more
in this
exciting.
because the CFL, the last 2 minutes is like 45 minutes still, right?
It
Like because they
really
stop
is.
and reset,
Takes
and
fucking forever.
but yeah, no,
You know, if there's one thing I want to do when I'm at a CFL game,
Is stay
is spend
longer.
an excruciating long period of time
fine, I'll take another look
managing
at
my
50.
expectations for the last 2 minutes of that crap.
Especially if it's at Edmonton. And
but
it's
who
minus
the hell
100.
calls tails? Like this is on Josh Allen too. Like who the hell calls tails on a coin
Mistakes.
toss?
Hmm.
You always take heads.
You know,
always
there's
call
no
heads.
science to the coin toss, right?
Yeah.
No, there's science.
There's no science.
The
Well,
New
there's
England
technically
Patriots.
science, but the science doesn't say anything that's
okay.
beneficial to either side.
The New England Patriots have been in the overtime in the playoffs 4 times
sure.
and took heads 4 times and won the coin toss. It's a
I know.
perfect science. A perfect.
Well, it's
science.
just taking heads. It's not.
How about the
science.
ref
It's just-
ad libbing too before the coin toss? We're starting a new game, guys.
Yeah.
Let's
What?
go.
We're starting
Ray
a new
Rauth.
game, folks.
Talking football with Ray is his podcast. It's where you can get it. We almost let him go 20 minutes ago, then kept him around. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. At DPN_Ray on Twitter is where you can find him as well. And go to rayrout.com or deanblundell.com for more information. Thanks, brother. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Thanks, Ray.
Talk to you soon.
See you,
This is,
Ray.
Ray Rout. He's
Thanks,
the king.
buddy.
It's
Great.
nice to end the podcast off with a good 15 minutes of taking a huge shit on the NFL.
Yeah, because before
NFL.
that, the half an hour of NFL, I became the logo. And I shit you not, the only thing that I wanted to contribute was this. I think the remaining 4 teams, need to step it up and take it one game at a time. And God willing, they'll leave it out on the field. Okay, thanks, team. Like
You sound like
I-
mainstream media.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you didn't try to fake your way through it.
No, I was gonna fake it where it looked like I was being funny because I didn't know what to do. So I was gonna do it like that. But then I decided, why don't you just say nothing for once, stupid? And then I was like, okay.
Another really funny thing about the CFL I learned. I don't know if you guys ever watch like sitcoms and like they're watching football on TV in the sitcom. It's always a CFL game, even though they pretend it's either NFL or it's like whatever big league game they're talking about. Like Modern Family was fucking famous for it. I used to see the Ticats and the Argos being played on Modern Family all the time while Ed O'Neill was sitting there pretending to drink a beer.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Smoke a cigar.
They treat it like a
It's
joke.
'cause- it's because
It is a joke.
it doesn't cost them any money to use it in the
Oh,
background.
that's what I was thinking.
NFL would be fucking expensive as hell.
The CFL's like, hey, Modern Family's on the phone. They want to use footage from one of our games. Do it.
We'll
How much
send
do
them
they
a
want us
case
to give 'em?
of maple syrup. The trouble.
Tell them we said thanks, eh?
You
So,
know,
yeah, I
that
thought that
too
was
is like
really
every
funny.
time like the CFL is brought up in like an international sitcom television setting, as a joke, whether it's Modern Family, Family Guy, or whatever. Because
Yeah.
and the Simpsons have talked about the CFL too. Every time they do it, it's in reference to how fucking funny it is.
Both of their fans are going to be excited. Shit like that, like those little quips. It's so
and take
funny.
nothing away from guys that play in the CFL. There's one dude in BC, he got signed, Lucky Whitehead. I saw this the other day. He's the highest paid. Get this.
Here we go.
No one with a white head is lucky.
No.
Lucky Whitehead.
Lucky Whitehead. He's a receiver for the BC Lions, and they said the best receiver in the league. So he's being rewarded as one. Highest paid receiver in the league. Guess how much he's making?
$95,000.
No.
56.
No. Highest. This league used to pay guys like Doug Flutie, made like $1.5 million a year.
150K.
Close.
$169.74.
$1, Bob.
140.
2 years, 200 grand.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huge.
Yo.
Yeah. Just want to point out that Antonio Brown
That's Ontario 49 money.
made last year made $11 million and played like 9 games.
That's Ontario money,
He's your-
bitches.
And by the way, did you see Antonio Brown on Twitter today?
Yes.
See this?
That's great. That's him.
He tweets out a picture of that, a still of him quitting football that one day where he stripped down and he jumped off the field like a lunatic, and he put his hands up and he photoshopped a little sign in his hands as he's jumping up and down that says "Bucks eliminated," and he put it out in his tweet.
That's awesome. I love that
So
guy.
good.
Petty.
He is. It was
love
so,
him.
yeah, that's Tom Petty level Petty. That's great.
And he will
Isn't
play
that
next year.
incredible?
He will
yeah.
play
Yeah,
in
of
the
course he
NFL
will.
next year.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, for Oakland.
Nope, he already burned that bridge.
I don't think.
Some cryotherapy. Burned his feet.
Well, guys,
Yeah.
should
That's
we
good
end
work.
with Don Jr. on a Coke binge one more time?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I don't want to have
Really?
like it gave last time I saw it, I was like, fuck, I can use a rail.
Seriously, this
No.
makes you want to do
It's an
drugs?
enabling video.
No, I was just joking. No, but it is fun to watch because like it's like those guys that get stoned and they start playing guitar and they think they're awesome, but it's out of tune and they can only play G and D. You know what I mean? It's like it's exactly like that.
Before we play the video, that's what every guy looks like when they're trying to explain cryptocurrency to you.
yeah,
Yeah. It really is.
buy the dip, peel the orange.
Dude,
That
is
was-
everybody buying the dip
Joe
right now? Like,
Biden.
That was Bonzi.
how
this
many
weekend, all
people do you
weekend.
know? Like Bonzi was in our DMs the other day, and
Relentless.
Chris was fucking giving it to him. Like, how's your crypto fortune, Bonzi? He's like, fuck you.
I'm buying more. I'm buying more.
50%. It went down 50% in like a week.
Yeah, but guys, the increase from like 10 years ago to now is ridiculous. There's a lot of people that are still wealthy from it, but they all invested before like 2018 or kind of thing.
Yeah, when it was like
2019.
8 cents.
But James, the banks can't keep printing money. You know that, right? They just can't keep.
Yeah, they
printing
can.
money.
They
can't.
technically can. Yeah.
Dude.
And finite resources.
It's not about the banks and fiat money. It's about finding the code in the blockchain.
Anyway, here's crypto cokehead Don Jr. fucking labeled
You know,
this weekend.
Can't put Joe Biden in the same room as someone. He
Cocaine.
might let one rip.
Cocaine.
Yeah, like
Guys, Joe Biden
Joe Biden.
is what stands between us
Think.
and a nuclear-capable China.
Yeah.
Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning. Joe Biden.
Did you hear this slur?
Joe Biden is China.
Listen to this. Listen to how fucking like this guy is so fucked on coke. He can't even talk. And someone gave him a phone. They're like, "Good idea. Make a video. Fuck that thing."
Nuclear-capable China.
Listen to the slur.
Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning. If there's a serious crisis
Sheriff.
with Russia,
He did so much coke, he looks like John McAfee.
I know he does, doesn't he? Joe Biden.
Oh my God,
Anyway,
that's
don't
so
do
funny.
coke, kids,
Yeah,
or don't do that much coke. Like
just
if you're
do
gonna do
lines
coke,
of Trump Jr. You'll be high
Yeah,
for
yeah,
a long
don't-
time.
if you're gonna do coke,
Do a key
whatever you do, don't do this much coke.
and a nuclear-capable China, Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 in the morning.
But
That much coke is bad.
the thing is that he probably had a bunch of rye or whatever he drinks, and it was like, gotta straighten myself out. That is I did like a half G to straighten myself out. Buzz is exactly what that is because I drank too much of Daddy's scotch. I think.
And
that's
a
what it is.
nuclear-capable China,
Yeah.
Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call.
Like he's an ableist. That's it.
It looks like he's wearing a retainer.
Yeah. Like you
like
remember how?
pasties.
Remember
Do
how the
coke guys talk
Godfather?
like that? Do
Oh,
coke
yeah.
guys talk
Godfather
like that,
put-
like this?
Oh yeah.
The Godfather.
They do.
Remember when he put tissues in
Yeah,
his
he
mouth?
put cotton balls. He put
Yeah.
cotton balls in his mouth.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
the
he
funny
was-
thing is, in their own head, they think they're so cool and just being like, "Yes, how's it going? What's
Like,
going
does he
on?"
think
But
we don't know that he's fucking tits to the gills?
I think he thinks that.
And a nuclear capable China. Joe Biden is the guy.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Joe Biden.
Joe.
Is it the slurry? This is Coke. Is that Coke?
That is
Talking like you got the cleft lips.
It's not wetness that's doing that. It's dryness that's doing that, and that's what his tongue is like sliding on the roof of his mouth like Jabba the Hutt. Like he just, you know what I mean?
Look at that still.
Doesn't Coke give you like superpowers and stuff? I've never done it.
Apparently
but
not.
I
Makes
heard
you
it
think
does.
you have superpowers. Yes, it does.
That's why he's recording. Got it. Yeah.
Is he recording or is someone obviously a lot shorter than?
I don't know. Let's watch it and find
I
out.
think
It's
he's-
so
he's
fun.
got-
Us and a nuclear capable China. Joe Biden is the guy they're going to call at 3 a.m.
Yeah, he's holding that camera.
Joe Biden.
Was the first line a fart joke when he said he's gonna
Yeah.
rip? Joe Biden's gonna rip
Yeah,
someone?
because
Rips are
like
also-
Biden farted in like a press conference a couple weeks ago. He legit like let one rip. He's like,
But rips
"Everybody-
are also slang for
whatever."
cocaine lines too. So that's why
Are they
that's funny. But yeah, I'm just gonna go do the bathroom.
He's
Do a
like
couple rips.
80. You're allowed to just randomly fart when you're 80, aren't you?
Oh yeah, dude, he's 80. He for sure.
kind of
70 is like 70's like go ahead and fart age. Like that's fart freedom. So Joe can fart wherever he likes. So he's legitimately like making mention of a legit fart that Joe Biden ripped during a press conference. But here he's recording a video coked to the taint.
Fuck.
And he thinks it's a great idea. That's what he
I
looked at
felt
his
like
phone, coked out of his mind, and he looked around and he thought, yeah, I'm going to fucking make a video.
Yeah, you know what? The best idea right now is to put me out in front of millions of people.
Yeah,
on
that's
Twitter.
right.
That's what I should do.
Slurring.
Yeah.
Probably danced to like
Oh,
I Am the
look at
Tiger
that.
the way Tom Cruise did in Risky Business just before he went on air, just to get pumped.
Dean, whatever you just did there, that screenshot is cocaine.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is there?
That's it.
A drip. He feels a drip right now. That's right.
And that
Yeah, you
is
can-
that
you know
looks
what
like
you
somebody
said,
telling
James?
me about crypto.
When we started the show, you were, yeah, it's crypto, dude. When we started the show, you said that Coke guys go like this. You're right. And you can see him doing it right here in the picture, right? Like he's trying to
He's
keep
making
his head
sure
up so
that
that
the puddle of cocaine mucus doesn't slip out of his nostril because
Yeah.
of worn down cartilage.
Is, can't put Joe Biden in the same room as someone. You might let one rip.
he's talking about farts.
Guys, Joe Biden
Joe Biden.
Guys.
Yeah.
Guys.
Anyway, have a great day.
You too.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you later, Dean.
Guys.
Bye, James.
China.
That guy's, by the way, that was the former president's son on
Still
Twitter.
probably make a better president than his dad, though.
4:26 in the morning is when he put that out last night.
Just a quick thing to catch me at Port Credit Arena this weekend. I'm the keynote speaker at the truck rally with Maxime Bernier and Randy Hillier.
Thank
Good.
you. Yeah, you're going to be
Are
there
you
with
wearing
those guys.
suspenders? Suspenders?
Great
Please
article,
catch me there.
Chris. Go
Yeah.
check out Chris's article. If you're vaccinated, you'll fucking hate it. The mental health toll that vaccine mandates are taking, no one's talking about. He's right. He's right. Oh, and there's Josh Allen's stupendous.
Speaking of
game.
not vaccinated.
Yeah, not vaccinated. He's not.
And check us out tomorrow on Rumble when we are thrown off of YouTube.
Yeah. Why would we get thrown off of YouTube?
Oh, because we're anti-vax now, apparently.
Yeah, we're anti-vax, anti-science.
Oh, that's
And check out
So now
Blackballed
we're
on
gonna go-
Thursday when I purchase online cocaine from Donald Trump Jr.
With cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
dude. That would be the best if you could arrange that. Like if you could arrange a Coke deal. You know what you should do is like slide into his DMs because he's still on Twitter. He's like one of the few Trumps that's allowed to tweet still. But like I think what you should do is you should go and slide into his DMs and go, I got a killer deal on some Coke. Let me know where I can be. And then we'll arrange a deal and we'll do a sting, like a little private sting
I
operation.
like it.
You'd be great at
Investigative
it.
reporting.
I would powderize magic mushrooms and somehow make it white. And I'll give him that tester and he'll snort it and he'll never come back again.
Just type, send him an email or a DM with a.
I'm not going to send him an email and say, hey, you want to get cocaine together.
free Coke. No,
The
do it.
Smurf
Send him a,
Village
see
with
what
you.
happens.
Do a video.
Send a note.
This
It's
is
like,
one of those things you would
hi,
tell Jimmy
I've
B
got
to
free
do.
Coke. I got free Coke, Don. You want the free Coke? I got free Coke.
Do a micro content
China
video.
white.
We'll send it.
I'll get right on that as soon as the show's done. I'm gonna do that.
All right. Thanks, boys. Great to talk to you.
Thanks,
James
guys.
DeFiore, Black Belt, the
Nice to see you guys.
podcast, and blackballmedia.ca is where you can find him at James DeFiore on Twitter. Great to see you, brother. Ryan Lindley, read his article at deanblundell.com about the whole trucker thing. It'll put it all in perspective. Really appreciate you being here. Great piece, Ryan.
Thanks,
go to at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. And the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. Go and subscribe. That's him and his lovely wife, Ashley. They do a great job of holding your hand through all that bullshit. They do a fucking awesome job. So download that podcast. A lot of fun to listen to. And, of course, that is my friend Chris Rook, anti-vaxxer extraordinaire. Just happy he's here. That's right. Your boy. Thanks, boys. Great to see you.
See you, Dean.
Talk to you soon. It's the lads. The lads. And thanks to Damien Bunsma from Beard Winter LLP. Lawyer, wonderful firm. They let him come in and do a little piece with us about how full of shit that trucker thing was. Man, that was fun, wasn't it? Anyway, da 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 da. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, you can find us at deanblundell.com. Everything we do is there. You can also go and download every one of our podcasts where you go to Spotify, Google, Apple Podcasts, etc. That's where you can find us there. YouTube, Dean Blundell Show on YouTube, and Dean Blundell TV on Twitch. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks to our friends over at Ed's Fine Imports, his Gitch, the best underwear on the planet. Trust me, I wear them every day. And so do all my friends. Go to edsfineimports.com, order online. He'll send you a free pair when you use promo code GITCH3. Again, Gitch, edsfineimports.com. Pouch in the front. You'll love them. Home for the fellas. Gitch is your promo code. Gitch3. Gitch and then the number 3. Thanks to Domination for making it possible to do all of our content. AI for people that produce content, games, stream, and more. If you got no time and you want a professional way to be able to do 72 pieces of promo content, these guys are incredible, and their AI is incredible. We use them all the time. So should you. Go to domination.com for more information. dmntn.com. Again, dmntn.com. Try them today. And last but not least, Easy Auto Financial. If you're looking for a car, having a hard time with financing, maybe your credit scares you. It doesn't scare the people at easyautofinancial.ca. Again, easyautofinancial.ca. Not only that, they want to make the whole thing turnkey, and it doesn't cost you a dime. That's right, free financing from easyautofinancial.ca. They don't care about your credit rating either. Give them a call. They will help you out. Again, easyautofinancial.ca. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for being part of the show. Really appreciate it. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Don Jr. for the end? Okay. Might as well finish with the coke-addled presidential son, huh?
Is, can't put Joe Biden in the same room as someone. He might let one rip. Guys, Joe Biden is what stands between us and a nuclear-capable China.